And it's showtime. Hello, good evening and welcome to the 23 podcast show. Episode 6 here. No, it's episode 7. With myself, your host, David Blair. Tonight we are joined by the Ronains. So I'm just going to go through clockwise through the screen here. Next to me, we've got JR.
Come on!
Boo!
Right through JR's head, we've got LP. How are you, LP?
Oh, good. Yeah, how are you?
Excellent. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Down here in this corner, we've got Debi Ronains.
Woo-woo!
And down here, we have Linzi.
Hey!
What's...
Oh, yeah!
Right, bring it in. Group hug. Group hug. Oh.
Virtual hug, Lynn.
Virtual group hug. That's the closest we're getting to just now.
Oh,
Okay, so
emotional.
if you're a regular tuner into the show, thank you very much. If you're not, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to be having some first class chat with the Ronains. We're going to be watching some Ronains videos. We're going to be hearing what they've been up to before, during, after lockdown, what's coming up, plans, and all the rest of it. At this time of the show, we just quickly need to share our live link from the 23 Universe page. If you're on the Facebook, please give it a wee share, maximise our audience. If you want to start a watch party in your own timeline, if you're on the YouTube, you can give the YouTube a share, or if you're on the Twitch as well, wherever you're tuning in, give us a wee message in the comments. We'll give you a shout out. Let us know where you're tuning in from, what you're using, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. And we think Debi's just going to give us a wee anecdote here whilst we're just quickly on our phones, seeing as she doesn't need to do it.
Are we
Yeah, well, I'm on my phone, so I can't unfortunately link it up. But yesterday, if anyone was on my page, I didn't even know I'd started a watch party. I was watching the Harry Redknapp interview on The Longest 40, and it was great. And I pressed share, thinking, oh, people need to see this, but I didn't realise I'd started a watch party. So there you go. That's how you start your own watch party. Watch this and just press share at the bottom. So Linzi Ronains, are you on your iPad?
Yes.
So you can go on your mobile from your page, go on to 23 Universe, and then click share. Do that, and then everybody can join from your page who's maybe not on the 23 Universe page. So that's what LP and Jim are doing just now, and hopefully all the viewers at home.
And then what?
So Debi, I'm on the 23 Universe page. I'm pressing share.
Yeah, and that should be it, basically.
Doesn't it say what's happening? What was
That's okay, but press share and what happens?
Oh yeah.
It should work. Yeah, but you'll need to turn like your volume off, kind of turn your volume down, so we don't. Yeah. So there we are, chickadees.
All this newfangled technology.
I know, man. Oh, aye.
Well done.
I'm just looking at myself.
Now we've got the housework done.
I've just got one more page to share on.
That's all right. So yeah, Jim Bob.
I've shared it on the Ronains. I've shared it on the. Let's see what else can I share it on.
2 seconds, Jim. What, Linzi?
Can you share it to Instagram anyway? Is there any way to put it on there? The link?
No, not yet.
What are you showing me, Linzi?
Our watch party, I think.
I just couldn't hear you there, Linzi. Sorry.
No, that's because we were all speaking, and I was saying subtitles come up.
Shut up.
Aye, apparently we've got subtitles.
Oh my word! I've got a story about subtitles.
So you're going to need subtitles. You'll need subtitles for LP.
Where are you from, LP?
I'm from the East Coast, actually. I'm from Dunbar, so we speak very properly here. So the weekend.
And where are you now in the country? Are you in Dunbar or where are you now?
In Dunbar. Yeah, Dunbar.
Oh, right,
still.
okay. Is that right on the coast?
Sorry?
Do you know, actually, I think I once went to. So there's a golf course in Dunbar, isn't there?
There's a couple of nice golf courses here.
In a previous life, I used to be an energy management consultant, and I went out actually to speak to them about their energy management, unsurprisingly.
There's quite a few people that surprisingly have been. I think it was Jim. Someone, is it out where you are from Dunbar? They commented on the last live that we did.
Oh yeah, that makes.
That's kind of
You remember? Commented and said that you've got a neighbour from Dunbar or something like that. It's bizarre how many people have been out this way.
Yeah, I remember that.
Roughly, I can remember roughly commenting saying they were from Dunbar.
You remember roughly.
I remember roughly.
There's a lot of golf courses out in East Lothian, isn't there?
Yeah, well, North Berwick, I think there's one out there. That's quite a posh part. I'm not quite that posh.
That's quite further over, isn't it? A lot further over.
Yeah, it's not too far. I'm about half an hour from here, but I was in the process of making my way to Easyland, but then all this happened, so it's just on hold for a wee bit. That's all. I'll still be on my way out.
That's it. We'll get you through here eventually.
I like that phone, actually. What was it called?
Refuge.
That's the one.
My
I really
favourite
like
saying.
I really like that.
We're all for somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing this in a couple of pages. I'll be 2 seconds.
That's okay,
Nice
Jim.
Nice one, Jim. We've got Stuart Westwood commenting. Who's the blonde guy?
Stuart, I've put the poster up the wall, man, and I didn't even. The brown's coming back through, but it still looks all right.
Thanks for tuning in, Stuart. Hope you're feeling better, mate. Stuart, like you guys will testify and agree with me, Stuart is one of the best photographers out there. He's absolutely phenomenal. We can kick off actually. We were chatting backstage in the virtual green room when you were getting the Bollinger out about some of the amazing pictures that Stuart has taken over the years. So your new band shot, talk us through that one.
Look at that. Shout out to Dunbank Crescent. Partner! Represent!
Jim, shush.
Sorry.
So talk us through it.
So we're going for obviously with LP, we're actually going to go for a kind of new image. We're in talks with a well-known producer, band manager just now, so I'll leave that. I'm not saying anything. We were to meet him just before lockdown, would you believe? And lockdown came in, and we never got the chance. So
right,
this is to do. We're going for a new. What would I say? A new move. We're going for a different approach.
A new start.
A new start, man.
Every day is the beginning of the rest of your life.
This is it, man. So I quite like that.
Why not? As you would probably expect, I really like the yellow in the background.
Yeah, I like
and I love your hat, LP. I like your hat.
Nice.
Oh, the one I see in the photo. That was a suggestion by, I think it was that your idea, Jim, actually? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a nice hat. I am a man that likes a hat. I've been wanting to wear a hat in my days as well. Talking of which, just whilst we were talking about Stuart there, I was mentioning to you, I was going through some of Stuart's pictures last night, and you were mentioning that you were on Beverly Lyons' podcast, online stream, and Gail Porter was on.
Yeah.
Beverly's one of our friends, so she's been great with the band, David.
Shout out to Beverly. I remember meeting her at your thing on the Trongate.
Aye.
The premiere.
We all went for chicken, Beverly. We all went for chicken. I think we had fried chicken that night.
I was absolutely guttered, and she was telling us like the most epic story of Beyonce, and I'm like swigging out a full bottle of wine, shoving chickens in my face. I couldn't have been any less classier if I tried.
Well, you can take the lassie out of Clydebank, but you can't take the Clydebank out of the lassie.
Oh no, Beverly's.
Yeah, Bev's new.
Did you say Gail Porter was on that one as well?
No, Gail Porter. She was on the one. She was on the second episode after us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same program called.
Same program. Sorry, same program. Yep.
What's the program called? Give it a wee shout out.
It's
Caged.
called. Yep.
Paged.
Caged. Oh yeah.
Caged.
Caged, right. So is this just an online thing that's happening during, is it TV or what's the deal?
I think,
She's just started it. She's done 2 so far, and her next one, if I'm definitely right, is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with Graham Clark from my fave band from when I was younger. Wait, because being a Banky, and they're a Banky band, and they were even, who does this? They sponsored my football team. On the football shirts, we had the wet, infamous shirts. Everybody in Claybank was walking about the shop wearing the purple Claybank wet shirt. So yeah, okay. I am buzzing for our show tomorrow night.
Right, well, I'm just going to drop Bev's Twitter. You can keep up to date with what Bev's doing there. So I've just dropped Bev's Twitter into the comments there. There's Stuart saying, "Oh shucks." Well, you can keep the "Oh shucks" coming, Stuart, because I've got some belters that I wanted to share with everybody. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Say hello. We'll give you a wee shout out. So when we're just mentioning Gail Porter. So last year in May, we're not long past the anniversary. So they have the World Fair Trade Day celebration gathering, and that was in the incredible Usher Hall last year, which the lovely team out there, Tanya and Linzi and Olga and all the rest of them, just an absolute amazing team, putting on a phenomenal event with an amazing lineup. We played it, and Gail Porter was doing the comparing. So before we played, I said to Gail, "Do you want to jump up and join the band for a bit?" So Gail came up.
Oh, and, wow!
Brilliant, man! Brilliant.
We gave Gail the honour of playing the triangle.
That's phenomenal.
And that's a Stuart Westwood picture there as well.
Yep.
His pictures are amazing. We were chatting about our Celtic Connections gig back in January as well, and Stuart also took another of my favourites from that night.
I've seen that one. It's amazing.
That's a great venue.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, the Usher Hall and the Old Fruit Market, it's an honour to play places like that. You know, they're just amazing. Sometimes I just have to stand in and pinch myself that we're actually playing them. But what else we got? We've got Lou 23 loving your tea, David Blair. Let's see the full thing. Well, the full thing is who the fuck are the Ronains with the anarchy sign there. I won't go any lower than that.
Get pajamas on.
Sitting here in my pants. I'm not really. We can do that later on once we get a wee bit more comfortable with one another.
Dance party.
You went like there. How many bands do you know sponsors a football team? The Ronains sponsor a football team.
So we do.
That's right.
Well,
that's pretty.
What's the name of that team again?
They're called Roseville 08.
Roseville.
Aye, Roseville 08. So it's like they're 11 or 12-year-olds. So what? Aye, so we sponsor them, David, through Sean's auntie.
Right.
So they've got the jackets with the Ronains and all that, and we're sponsors on their Fitbit taps as well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Sean's little cousin Rafa plays in the team, so it's so lovely that Linda did that. It's brilliant.
I've got Sean's ways tonight. This is his ashes.
And he's on there. Look, he's on the screen. Yeah. He's on Lindsay's arm on the screen.
There he's there. Good to see you, Sean. Good to see you, my man. He's always with us. He'll always be with us.
Yes.
There's Rab. I'm not sure. I've not got my glasses on. I don't know what that emoji is.
Praise hands, praise.
Oh, is it? There's cheers, Rab, for tuning in. There's Gail Porter is one cool ass chick. You're right, Lou. She is. There's Gaz Penders, Davy Boy. Thanks for tuning in, Gaz. Gaz has actually lined up a very interesting guest for me in a future future episode of this. He holds 3 Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow.
He's a ex-Harlem Globetrotter and officially was the tallest player ever in NBA history. His name's he's an English basketball player. Phil Sturgis. We're just trying to nail down a date actually with him, but I'm hoping. Sorry, Paul Tiny Sturgis. He's 7'7". Oh,
Tiny Sturgis.
Tiny Sturgis.
What a name! Tiny. How ironic.
He's got a size 19. Sure.
3 legs.
Jamie. After 11 o'clock.
We've got Jackie and Aidan watching. Do you know Jackie, Wingate 4?
I know Jackie. All right, Jackie.
Oh, Jackie and Aidan. We've got shout out to You Call That Radio on the Twitch. That's Mark McGee's brilliant podcast. He's been going now almost every night, done over 50. He's been there keeping the masses entertained with his You Call That Radio quarantine stream, which started officially on the first day of the lockdown. I was a guest on that back in the day, it seems like now, Mark. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll give the You Call That Radio link a share in the comments. Listen, people, if you want to shout out for anything, please do. The whole purpose of this show is we're creating community, we're connecting and reconnecting with our friends, anybody else that we've not seen in a while, getting them all in the one space. I've not seen these guys in a while now because of this. We should all be out at gigs, but we can't ever forget that at the moment we're sitting here doing this and we are the lucky ones. So you've got to keep it in our hearts just how much of an unbelievable crisis and disaster this is on a global scale. So keep doing the things that we need to do. Staying in whenever possible, staying safe, doing all the rest of it. We all know the drill by now, but let's not forget, let's be grateful. We are the lucky ones. Yeah. And thanks everybody for tuning in. So I would advise you, Mark McGee, every day almost has some amazing guests lined up. At 7 o'clock, You Call That Radio. Obviously, whilst we're on lockdown, probably more people are spending more time online. That's one way that we are staying connected with one another. So it's important just now that we support people who are doing great things online, and Mark is doing that. So please go on his page, give it a like, check out one of his upcoming shows as well. Gail retweeted a Gyros tune, I Want Answers, says she loved it and it made her homesick. Such a class lassie she is. She's brilliant. There's Carol Graham. So let's start on lockdown chat then. We'll just go round. Jim, LP, Debi and Linzi. What is the situation with you guys then? Are you isolating? Are you on lockdown? Are you still working? Are you a key worker? Are you furloughed? What's happening, Jim?
I've been locked down for most of the time. My friend's mum and dad was in a wee bit of trouble there. No trouble. They're elderly and couldn't get up the stairs. So it's the guy... It's Stuart's best pal, Andy Campbell. He's a graphic designer, so I've been helping him to his mum and dad's house. Apart from that, I've been playing my music. I play my music every night. You know what I mean? I like to get things set up, the bass guitar, and but honestly, man, with the synth set up through the bass guitar amp, my pedal board's been brilliant. The neighbours is hitting the wall all that. It's great. Loved
so you've been hitting the music as therapy.
Aye, I have. When it first started, when I've been obviously speaking to you on the phone, David.
Yeah.
I've been driving. I was when it first started. I thought this is pretty tough. But every morning I've been getting up, actually getting done up. You know what I mean? I've not been lying about in my pajamas. I've actually been getting good gear on after shaving everything. Which is weird, I know, to sit in the house, but it's just something I've been doing to get by. You know what I mean?
That's important though, because like if you're at home and the sum total of most of the hours of your day are going from a bedroom to a living room to a kitchen to a toilet via a hall, then just getting those basics right and getting your head in the right place, they are some of the best things. that you can do, just to make sure that you're staying on top of your mental health and that kind of thing?
Definitely. And I started doing a wee bit of job. First 2 weeks I was like, right, I'm going to lose a bit of weight here. My mum, where I'm from, for Ayrshire, my nana and my mum and that side of the family, they're dead blunt, like very blunt. So when I see my nana, she says to me, you're putting on the weight, boy. So I thought, right. So I started doing the jogging and all that, but man, I fell away from it. I couldn't be bothered. You know what I mean? If I could. That's right. That's what's been happening.
All right. What about yourself, LP, out in Dunbar?
I'm key worker, so I'm still working. I'm on some leave at the moment, so I've enjoyed, some downtime. It's been good weather here, but I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but I kind of consider myself lucky actually to still be working at times, because it's maintained some sort of routine for me in a way. It's maybe been a bit less of a shock to the system for me, because I've just continued my normal shifts at work.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do, if you don't mind asking, or if you can tell us?
MI5.
Security. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm still needed, and it's kept a routine. So as much as I like to think, maybe it'd be great to just sun myself in the garden all day long here, I think it would probably have a bigger impact on me if it had been all this time and I hadn't been at work. So
and have you been getting busy on the guitar as well?
Honestly, for the first little while, I wasn't. It almost, I think I was just it maybe hit me a bit that I was so excited there was this massive kind of build up. Like I say, I think this lockdown happened, I think it was about a week and a half before our first gig was due.
Yep.
And then everything, the wheels just came off at that point. All the gigs, as far as we were aware, into the foreseeable, were cancelled, rehearsals cancelled, the whole lot. And it just, for probably the first couple of weeks, it did the opposite. I had the opposite effect. And it just I was in a bit of a rut. But I'd say certainly the past couple of weeks, it's been a therapy for me, picking it back up, kind of concentrating on things I wouldn't get to concentrate on so much when we're doing rehearsals. Okay. So a bit of acoustic work, things like that.
Aye.
Okay, doc. What about yourself, Debbie?
I think just like everyone, I've been in a roller coaster. I'm extremely fortunate, and I could never have seen this coming. My work closes one day a week. 1 day a week, 1 day a year. So it's open 364 days a year, and we all moan about our work. But to be fair, my work shut us down early, 100% pay, furloughed us. So I think I'm extremely blessed in that point. Funnily enough, when I'm doing all these kind of recordings, I've always got to mute chat so they don't ping through the phone. And I didn't even realise I'd muted my work's chat for about a week, and I didn't realise I'd all these assessments. And I've still not done them. I checked the date and it said June. I went, I've got ages. But I can see the boss, I've only got 50% handy done. But anyway, so I've been lucky. I've been furloughed. But there's sorry, I've had a wee sore throat this week. But the funny thing is, Lindsay, no, I had a sore throat. I don't have anything. I get a sore throat when I sing, but that's a big whole other story. But yeah, I've definitely been on a roller coaster. I think every week has brought a different vibe. I've had sat and watched all the box sets till I was sick, read books till I've done. I've shopped. I'm actually got to the point where I'm disgusted in myself with shopping and eating. No, seriously, I had a good word with myself. I was awake to 2 o'clock. Aye, this is my shot. I was awake to 2 o'clock in the morning having a good word with myself last night, because they know on the chat the past few days I've been gloomy and down, and I don't laugh, I'm spilling my heart out here. But I've ordered, I mean, it's terrible. I've ordered 2 pairs of trainers. Where am I running to? I've ordered, right, I had tickets for a ball. I know I'm going off track here. I had tickets for the Billy McNeil ball at the end of the month. My big ball gown came last month. Well, it wasn't big, but, well, as big as in fitting me, but... And it's now I'm ready to go to the Oscars, I'm ready to go to the gym, I'm ready to do marathons, I'm ready to go to cocktail parties. I just don't have anywhere. I've bought all these clothes and they're just sitting in the bags. I don't even have the thrill of opening them up and trying them on and going, oh, I'll wear this tonight. I got actually tried to get dressed up tonight a little bit. I even get the crimpers out. But anyway, back to the how I've been on lockdown. I talk too much. But definitely highs and lows, and some of the lows have been really low, to the point where things that would never bother me, and people like, because you know yourself, like if you're in a band, people who don't know you can ask you questions, and you'll find it actually, God, that's quite intrusive, and then you're trying to be dead polite. I was a wee bit I'd sent a couple of messages to the guys, and I was a bit like, I'm a wee bit hitting a wall here at breaking point, and we'd kind of said like, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and stuff. Like some things were like demands, and I'm like, okay. But then I'm very blessed that we've got a platform like this that people will tune in to hear us talk, and to hear me talk absolute mince and totties. But yeah, definitely, I think lockdown's just been a massive bunch of lows and highs. And as Jim was talking about the other night when we were on the chat, I couldn't even tell you the last weekend I've ever been in. If I'm not working, I'm at a gig, or at least grabbing my friends for just a night in. And it's really, really hit me. I don't even mean I want to socialise. I just need. I've lost a lot of my family, so like not even having the other family I've made for myself, it's absolutely been a killer. So I had a good word with myself last night, and I've did things today I've done a few things today that made me happy, and I hadn't done them since the start of lockdown. So before I start crying, move on.
Okay, over to you, Lindsay. What's been happening with yourself?
Well, yeah, a bit like what Debbie was saying as well. Very up and down. Like 1 minute I could be like, yeah, buzzing. Like, see when we were doing the dragon suit thing a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
With a purpose.
With a purpose, exactly. That I felt amazing. I felt like there was something to look forward to. There was something to do. As stressful as it was, don't get me wrong, because it was.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
But that I felt. See, probably that week was the most normal week. Did any of you feel like that as well?
Yeah.
It was a bit of normal.
Yeah. With deadlines and with a lot of correspondence and.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been doing video lessons, so that mainly all I've been really doing is I've been doing probably just over half of my lessons, and I'm getting by fine. With what I'm doing. The video lessons, they're all right. You know, they're no ideal. I'd much rather obviously be in my studio. My pedal broke. My hi-hat pedal had broke as well. I only ordered a new one the other day, but that was doing nothing. It went from working kind of intermittently to just no working at all, and I started to crack up last week because I was trying to teach, right, and I'm doing the sound, so I'm saying to them, right, and then you open your hi-hat, like this, and I feel like an idiot, like trying to do the sound. It was so unprofessional, but I got and I feel better for that. What else I've been doing? No much. At the start I was doing like I think near the beginning of this, it was more people needing shopping, and me and my girlfriend mainly was cooking for folk, and I was delivering it, and we did that the first maybe kind of 3-4 weeks. We did that quite heavy, but honestly, I've not done a lot. I've had good intentions, like I'll learn this, I'll do this, and then I don't. I just sit. Either I'm like.
So what you're saying is you're not pumping out 100 press ups a day, 100 chin ups a day. You've not learned how to run a marathon in under 3 hours yet. You're not a gourmet chef, and you've not learned 5 languages.
With failed lockdown.
For fuck's sake, Lindsay.
I know, man.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
You've basically been sitting in your pants all day watching Netflix, haven't you?
Honestly, like my Amazon Prime is on 24/7. My Cody box is ready to blow up. And the thing is, I'm not even watching it.
So the porn.
Because I'm not.
I warned you backstage, no smut until after 11.
I thought you said after 10, man. I'm sitting here itching.
No, Jim, that's something else.
Just to keep it clean again, Lindsay. So you can still teach music, is that right?
I can still take your name, but I actually just quickly, I do have a story, right?
Okay.
How much did that advert cost?
Right.
Do you want us to?
I did accidentally watch porn one night, and it was an accident.
But remember, we're not allowed to talk about this until after 11.
I'm not
After
that.
11. Save that story.
It was a link. No, it was just an accidental link. But anyway.
And I clicked it.
Okay. Well, we'll give your music school a wee shout out just now. So that's the Miller School of Music, Paisley. There's Linzi's number there. I'm just about to, if anybody's interested. So, what do you teach? Just drums.
Linzi, we lost you.
She was drinking.
I was drinking. Sorry, drums and guitar, and have a go at bass. It's not my thing, but we'll
No, have a go at it.
Okay. So I'm going to drop Linzi's Facebook page for Miller School of Music there. That was the graphic that we just seen there. I'll just bring it up there again for you. That's Linzi's business. I was quite surprised actually. Our real surname is not Ronains. She has another surname. There you go.
You would have a heart attack if you knew my real name.
I'll get Big Colin to tell me, or Gary Ward. Your fellow bankies. I wonder if they're tuning in, seeing as you're on. Disco Colin, Gary Ward, and a secret poet. Let us know if you're ring in the comments. We've got a few more. Carol's asking, Jamie, are you playing Quarantine tonight?
Oh, man! This is weird, right? I know this sounds like a big lie. It's no. The guys can back me up on it.
Yeah.
I wrote this song called Quarantine about probably about a good year ago, and it was for the second album. It's a good tune, man. Really good. We're really pleased with it. But
that was quite a politician's answer. We just want a yes or no. Are you going to play Quarantine tonight?
Well,
I'll see how I feel, Carol. I'll see how I feel. I might.
Okay. Sean's asking there, LP, what's on your hat?
Oh, it's a bear.
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
A Chicago bear.
No, I just had to bear.
Debi's asking, so what was the dragon soup thing? Tell us about that.
It was they were looking for bands to do their first virtual show, and they were looking around. And fortunately enough, Debi, they liked the Ronains, they liked the song and how edgy and stuff we were. Dragon Soup's got a cool edgy drink, so they got in touch through our manager, Reaction Management, and asked us if we'd like to do it, and paid us a fortune.
Just throwing it out there, Dragon Soup. If you would like to endorse us, just get in touch anytime.
So Jim turned Bevy into a Korg. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Korg, man. I bought a synth. I used to play keys when I was younger and stuff. So,
right.
And I just with the Ronains, we're kind of experimenting with some new sounds. So it's really good. And it's Mark Bairns for Angel Star. He's the king of sound as far as I'm concerned, and he recommended it to me. So it's worked out well.
Nice one. We might have a new client for you, Linzi. There's Gary Penders, Gaz. I've always wanted to learn how to play drums.
Oh, she's your gal.
Aye. Amazing drummer, Gary. I definitely recommend you get lessons from our Linzi. Carol said there, thank you, Jamie, for your answer. No glasses tonight.
Oh, aye.
Glasses or pint glasses. I think they've just got cans of dragon soup instead. Let's have a wee cheers, everybody. A wee cheers up to the webcam.
Cheers.
Ching, 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 ching. So, just for everybody tuning in tonight, thank you for coming into the 23 Universe and 23 podcast show. This is episode number 7 tonight with the Ronains. I think what we could maybe do is we've obviously got some videos of yourselves lined up. So how about we play Another Homeless Affair?
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah. Do you want to give us? Well, we'll play it first, and then we'll have a wee chat about it afterwards. So, just to explain what we're about to do here, I just need to quickly go through all 5 of us and mute us. Just get the YouTube video for that lined up on another tab. Bear with me for that. Okay, there it's there.
Excited.
And then, so we'll just switch screens for the viewers, and we'll all be on mute. We'll pop it on. The video lasts for 4 minutes and 19 seconds. So even if you wanted to carry your device into the kitchen, make a cup of tea, get another can of dragon soup, whatever you're on tonight. It's the weekend, isn't it? I think.
Gin.
I'm not really sure what night it is. So here we go. I'll just mute all of us.
Monday morning and I'm doing nothing. Gonna lie in my bed and sleep all day and just dream away.
Sailing on a roundabout one. I'll grab a beer, sit down and have some fun on the street where I stay. Please, do you have any change? And if you do, can you throw it away? I'm a teenage rebel. Yeah, that's what they used to say. Well, I never did like my school anyway.
Ran love on the streets where no one cares. We kissed and made love on the concrete stairs. Another homeless affair.
And then she asked me, where do you come from? Oh, you'll find me lying in Georgia Square. Are you comfy there?
Do you wanna get here? You can leave your blanket, but bring your beer.
Let's go to the food bank and pack up something to eat and get off of these filthy streets of fear. Do you wanna get out here? Do you wanna get out here? I've been frozen
And I've been broken.
I've been trained
Okay, and we are coming.
Tune.
June.
Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Carol was loving that.
Well done.
Jackie was dancing away there as well.
Hey.
So talk us through the story of our homeless affair.
Well, the Ronains album, Love, Drugs and On the Dole, it's a concept album. It's about Lizzie Coyne, a real life character from Glasgow that I met through some friends. It's her life story. So another homeless affair. It's a love song duet. When I was writing the song, it wasn't going to be a duet, but as I was writing it, I could hear the kind of question and answer thing, and it was when I was recording it with Gordy Gowdy, he was kind of letting me know that Jesus and the Mary Chain done a duet that I never knew, and they let me hear it. So that threw this right into the duet thing, David.
Okay.
We had James Allen for Las Vegas. He was going to do it. He was up at Gordy's house and stuff. And then one thing led to another. They were going on tour and all this stuff. So I stepped in and I've done it with Debi. So, and that's what it led to. It led to that, and it was one of our on Spotify. It's our kind of top streamed song. People like it.
Yeah, and just for those that are with us at the moment, I will give your Spotify profile artist link a share in the comments. Get on there, people. Give them a follow, please. We've got Alex saying, "Hey guys, Alex joined us."
Yeah,
Hi, Alex. Hi, Gina G. I've seen Gina G there.
And Gina G, drag queen. Hey, Gina G. Thanks very much for joining us. And so it's the video. I noticed there at the start, one of Glasgow's most famous venues, the Clutha. You filmed a bit of it in, didn't you?
Yeah.
We filmed a bit in the Clutha, and it's one of the ones, David. I was talking to a guy in the music world. He's well known in the music world, and man, see likes this concept album. It was him. It was his. That should have been the Ronains' second or third album, right? In his opinion, it shouldn't have been my first album, but these songs had to come out. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I maybe didn't have those lyrics in a third album. So that's why this album will be genius. This album will be genius in a couple of years to come. I know it will. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the concept, the theme of it, and the topics that you've wrote about and that you sing about, but like they're totally of the time, and a lot of them aren't going to go away. Like, outside of the actual story of another homeless affair, what does it say on the back of my t-shirt or on your t-shirt? My t-shirt or your t-shirt? No one is illegal. And what happens to a lot of refugees who, because they're turned into refugees because of war abroad, a lot of wars obviously that the British Army like to stick their neb into when they shouldn't be. So if we don't want refugees in the world, then let's stop creating them.
Don't go and bomb there. Yeah,
exactly. And coupled with that, like if somebody came and bombed Glasgow, do you not think there would be quite a few angry Glaswegians who would want to fucking maybe go?
I'm already an angry Glaswegian.
Aye, Glasgow's already angry enough. So I doff my at the moment metaphorical disco cap to you because you are brought to the forefront and you've had a conversation in your music about things that need to be getting spoken about.
Definitely, man.
Yeah,
definitely. And that was
one of the lovely things off the back of the t-shirts were made and the song was made, but we didn't want to be like, oh, we're just preaching. And we went round. This is going back a couple of years. As you have seen, there is a bit of a different lineup in that video because that was the first video we ever did. So talking about the band that was in that, we went to the big homeless shelter, the one just behind McMonagle's. It's in the big mosque. It's a homeless shelter at night. McMonagle's, I said there. That's a chippy.
It's in a church.
McDonald's.
It's not a mosque.
What is it then?
It's like a big green. It's in Anderson. It's a big green roofed church in Anderson. So it's not
the one behind McDonald's at Finniston.
Aye, it's not a mosque.
I'm sure it's a mosque. Anyway, I'm sure it's a religious place of worship, right? I might not get the names right. It's
a place of worship. Okay.
Yeah, a place of worship. And then at nights, it's a big, massive homeless shelter. So at first, Jim and all that had went up and done some volunteering and stuff, and we were like, no, but we want to do something amazing that's going to benefit you, not going to benefit us. Just what can we do? And the guy had said, like, we actually need to bin every single bed in here. They're not fit for purpose. We need all new beds. And I was like, how much? And we'll do it. And he was like, oh no, I couldn't ask you for that. Anyway, long story short, we said, listen, we can do it and we can do a fundraiser, but it still feels empty. And he said, well, the guys, it's only a guys homeless unit. He said they've not had anything to look forward to. They've not had much of a purpose. They go out all day, they wander in the streets until they can come back in at night. And we'd said, like, well, what if we put on a massive show just for them, like not for whatever else? And he was like, oh, I think they would absolutely love that. So obviously we'd never ever done a show where it's for the people in the place. So me and the girl at the time, Jenny, we'd done like 200 odd cupcakes. Like I'd never wanted to look at another cupcake in my life. And we brought hundreds of foods and we made it a party. There was no alcohol or anything. We'd done a show. Gordy gave us his time. He'd done all the sound engineering. And we raised, I can't remember the figure and I don't want to get it wrong. I know it was in the thousands anyway. And then a bunch from my work came, and this blew me away. My work came with a check and said, well, I'd been sharing my stuff for ages saying, like, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing this. MD can support us. Then we also done a big thing where we'd done a big drive for the food bank. Also done another thing where everybody donated thousands of gents' clothes. So I was like, it just grew arms and legs. We made more than enough money. We got all the mattresses and beds. My work gave us a check. I can't remember, it was for $1,000 or something as well, on top of the thousands we'd already done. And I was just like, and the best thing was, at first, the first couple of songs, we'd two other bands playing before us. First couple of songs, you could tell they were a little bit just a fish out of water at first. There hadn't been a gig or in a pub or anything for donkeys, these people, for ages, the ones who were using, obviously, the unit. And then see what they like. The first few songs in, the dance floor was filled all night. Amazing. It was the best thing ever. And then it was great because then I just danced the whole night with everybody as well. And I just was like, this is worth more than even what we're donating. Like the guy said, like, we need to do it again, because I think it's hard because we want to help as many charities as possible. Like, we love helping Chaz, we love doing all the mental health stuff with you, David, and it's so hard because you want to help everybody. But I do remember always going, geez, oh, that grew arms and legs and that. And it wasn't us, it was just we put the word out there, and it was the community. I've said, yeah.
It can do. I mean, one of the main things that got me into your band before I got to know you as people, and I'm now pleased to call you my pals, was the fact that there aren't many bands like the major bands that have made it, like The Clash and Rage Against the Machine, and obviously making it as a relative term to whatever. Like, success is relative to everybody, and what you deem to be success. Like John and I, Colonel Mustard and Dijon 5, like, we just used to talk about having a holy trinity, that if we ever played Tea in the Park, the Barrowland Ballroom in Glastonbury, then that would be us. We'd be happy just with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's different for everybody. But those two aforementioned bands that I've said there, The Clash and Rage Against the Machine, are probably the two greatest examples of bands who have stood up for what they believe in and married the politics of what they believe in. I mean, Tom Morello as an actual political scientist graduate from Harvard, they've married that with absolutely amazing music that touches and resonates and connects with so many at a political engaging level, but not to the point where they're forcing it on you. And again, that's why I commend you from my heart for the topics that you guys brought up. And
everybody knows,
because we can't turn a blind eye to what's going on. We see it when we go out into the streets with the homeless people that are out there. Probably every family in Glasgow, at least if they're not related to, there must be like one level of connection to somebody that they know that's maybe got a drug issue. Definitely. And then whether that's like, and usually anybody with an addiction issue, they're usually the last person to admit it, whereas other people can see it until it starts to build up and cause a problem in their life. So I think what you do in Marion, you use as a Glaswegian, mostly Glaswegian, and now Dunbar, LP, hello, in East Lothian. But that's also great as well. Like, see, when we used to play Edinburgh, I think that's amazing now that you've got somebody from Lothian in your band, because when we used to play Edinburgh, like, you'll know yourselves, like, when you were growing up, you had this, obviously, stupid football tribalism that it comes from initially, but this thing that somehow Edinburgh and Glasgow are different. I never got that because I was into clubbing and I would go to club nights through in Edinburgh, and I just never got it. So whenever we used to play in Edinburgh, like John would always say at the beginning of the gig, listen, we might be a band from Glasgow, but as far as we're concerned, whenever we're here, this is Gladdenborough. We're combining the cities. We're just going to make them one big, massive city, one big community of love. There's no Glasgow, there's no Edinburgh. We are Gladdenborough tonight, and we're just all going to have a good time because we're just people here to enjoy the music.
Definitely, it's sometimes hard, like as you're pointing out, like we could have went down an easy road and been yes people and just tried to suck up everybody's backside, took his point of view, took her point of view. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody knows we wear our kind of political heart on our sleeve. We don't ram it down anybody's throat, it's just our choice. But we took an awful lot of stick for that because we were about to do an Edinburgh, I'm saying now. We're about to do like gigs in England. But there was some that were a bit like, I don't know, you kind of bang on a bit. And we're like, well, it's not going to change kind of anytime soon. It's the music is the music. You like the music, you don't like the music. Our political views is just our opinions. You're allowed your own opinions. It's quite nice that we all kind of concur on what we all set out to believe in. I mean, as Bev had, I didn't know if I was allowed to say, because Beverly had said on hers, she's like, we stay away from politics, religion, and football. And I do agree with her.
No, like
if you want to keep it clean and everything, then it's a good advice to take. But yeah, we've definitely took a rocky road. We've basically told people to F off if they didn't like what we stood for and all that.
We never wanted to be known as a political band.
No, not at all. That's not what we're about either. Yeah.
I wouldn't say you are though. I mean, that's like you make. I mean, even but sometimes in between songs, or we've got certain bits in amongst our songs. Like there aren't many people who would think that we are a political band, but like we've got a message and we've got things to say that are important because they are things that affect all of society.
And we're patriotic and.
Exactly. There's just quite a few comments here. We'll just go through Stuart's loving the album as well. Quite right too. It's I put the Spotify link there. Can you buy it anywhere, guys? Obviously, we'd like people to support you if they can. Is there anywhere they can buy it?
Yeah, we should have put that link up. Our shop.
I'll find it. I'll just go. So if I just Google
Big Cartel,
Big Cartel.
.com, the Big Cartel link.
Linzi's shop manager.
CDs, vinyl, merch, t-shirts.
Yeah, everything in Big Cartel. We've got a URL link on the Ronains page and Jim Reed. It's just one link. It leads you to everything. But Big Cartel, David, that's where all our merch is. T-shirts.
Okay. I've just shared it. I've just shared it in the comments there. Just for anybody who's just tuning in through the 23 universe from previous people that we've had watching any of the other episodes and are back again, thank you very much for coming back. So I'm just also going to share the Ronains Facebook page and the comments as well. Please go and give them a link, please. Samuel was saying it was great. It's great to see you guys as always. Cheers, Samuel. Thanks for tuning in. Catherine says hi.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Samuel's clapping. Amy Louise, hi Amy. Thanks for tuning in. they'd go heavy mental. I think that was when we were talking about, I imagine if somebody bombed Glasgow, what would Glaswegians do?
Of course.
Hold me back.
They would go heavy mental. You make more friends with bread than bombs. Quite right, brother.
Defo.
We're all about the peace, love, and music here, the 23 Universe. Gary was saying, was it at the City Mission?
Yes, that's what it was, Gary.
That's it. So what?
That's
Can
the
somebody
one.
tell me what the building is?
Somebody has. I'm just scrolling through there.
Just so I don't feel really silly.
Compliments there from Samantha, Gina G. I absolutely love Who the Fuck Are the Ronains, by the way. Can't wait to see you after lockdown.
Come
Well,
on.
thank you.
Likewise, Gina G. I'll get you down
Gina.
the front left. Carol, love your true stories, guys. You've helped so many people. They have indeed. Is this it? The Gurudwara Singh Sabha, Finiston Sikh Temple.
Oh,
There we are then. I knew it was a religious place.
what? It's not.
What is it?
Is it the one
yeah.
down? Is it the one down Finiston or the one
Behind the
that's
McDonald's.
outside?
It's like a
No,
big,
behind the McDonald's at Finiston.
a big, huge green triangle roof.
That's it. That's the one then. That's it.
Jamie, I met ladies who were worshipping.
Thanks, Stephen, for helping us out there with the geography.
Aye, thanks for that, Stephen. Thank you.
1-0 to Debi.
1-0 to Debi. We're taking. I've got my score sheet here. We'll take it. I've got the score
Oh,
sheet.
don't worry, we'll never live that. Stephen.
So while Stuart's on, I'm just laughing, right? Because Stuart and Andy were just phenomenal. As you can imagine, you put Stuart and Andy in the room with us lot, right? And it didn't help that they were drinking. Obviously, I was driving, and oh my god, I had to drive Jim because we went for dinner after it. I really just wanted to kick him out the car. He was so drunk. He can't even remember eating dinner. But so obviously, I'm talking to Stuart, right? But obviously, Stuart's saying, right, do this pose and do that pose, right? Now everybody else is wearing jeans. Everybody else. So then it was like, right, Debbie, come on, karate kick. I'm wearing a skirt.
Yes,
So,
Stuart. Yes.
I did about 5, and then I was like, nah, seriously, I'm going to have to go and put jeans on if you want me to karate kick.
So for anybody tuning in, again, we've got that's the picture then that you were working on.
Yes.
And Stuart is an amazing photographer. He was at our Celtic Connections gig in January, one of our last gigs. He was at the Usher Hall with us last May for the World Fair Trade gathering. Gil Porter there as well. He's an amazing photographer. I'm actually going to share Stuart's Facebook page in the comments as well. Please go on, give that a like. Support local businesses. Gina's showing you all the love there.
Thank you, Gina.
And
Gina, we'll need to meet you sometime, Gina. So
Gina's one of our newest recruits.
Is she? One of the
Yeah.
newest to the Ronains family.
She found us on the Beverly Lines Caged podcast interview, and then that was it. All of us was like friend request, so we're really, really excited to have her on board. Doc talking as well about the Stuart Westwood. I was going to say something there. I forgot what it was now. Yeah. Jim and Lindsay were sheer naturals. I mean, boom, 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 boom. It was like Zoolander. And then me and Lindsay steps up, me and LP steps up to the plate. That way.
I've never
me and her were like
so much in my life as I did that day, honestly. And I had driven, so I couldn't. But honestly, I was watching you tank that bottle of Buckfast, Jim, and I just thought, honestly, I don't think I've never tried Bucky, but I just thought I could easily go right now. Like, honestly, I've never needed a drink. I'm not good in front of a camera.
no.
It was, but yeah, they were great. They were. It was
the same.
as easy as they possibly could for me. Yeah, but.
David, see, it was like the kind of start of the lockdown. It was start of the lockdown of the COVID-19. So there we were. We were in Andy's house drinking the Buckfast, fucking cuddling, kissing. Oh shit!
I had just come back from Cheltenham, which had 250,000 people at it, and I'm hugging everybody.
I know.
And then obviously, like, we never knew
that Cheltenham hospital had one of the highest incidence rates of it as well. Just after that, just want to give a shout out to Isa there. Isa was one of our guests last night. One half of the Lorettes. Debbie, do you know Isa?
No, I just met them. Well, I didn't meet them, sorry. I virtually watched them last night. So I virtually became like, sorry, and I've never actually seen it live because what was I doing last night? What did I watch?
Catch up on the YouTube.
So I watched it, and they're so charming. Like I could easily sit and have a drink with them. So sorry. Do you want to be in my gang? My gang.
They made a lot of pals last night. Thanks for tuning in again, Isa. Nice to have you back. Stuart's back on there. Oh yes, I have
Nobody
the
wants to see those. Oh, no.
For blackmail.
Post them.
No.
There's,
It's just pictures of my crotch.
looking forward. Well, listen, Stuart. If you want to, Stuart,
No.
send me over the pictures. We're allowed smut after 11 o'clock.
No.
So if you want to look at some of the outtakes, ping them through on Messenger, and I can upload them to share with everybody.
Don't send the one when I had Debbie's knickers on. I don't want that one coming up, right?
Thanks to Alana Anderson there. Shout out, she was at our fruit market gig. Carol Graham, Parkfest Stranraer. Thank you very much, Carol. Can't remember. I don't think I made that. I think I'm one reason or another. Can't remember. LP on Bucky.
Oh, that's
LP.
That's my brother. He knows that's probably not a good idea.
You've got a brother.
That's your brother. Thanks for tuning in, Sean. There you go. There's
You kept that quiet.
No, for good reason. He knows that.
Is he single?
He knows too much.
There's Chris. Chris has been listening in, but he needs to get back to work. Have a good one. Okay, thanks, Chris. Don't graft too hard. Isa's woo. That was a typo. It was guys, not thugs. Isa's saying you defo could. Let's do it. So after this, we were chatting last night. Lauren converted her garage, our family's garage, into their own wee pub, which is called nice. the Toddle Inn. So I think all 5,000 plus in the Inverclyde lockdown live group have been invited for a party along with ourselves. So maybe we can go and play. Maybe you guys can come down and play as well. I'm sure Lauren's family will be fine with that.
Can you imagine the street parties after this? Like, I don't mean like what's going on because England's slightly eased a lockdown. I mean when this is proper, that we can actually celebrate that there's no deaths or there's very, very, very few. That's when I want to celebrate. I've seen like people celebrating. I know I went off scale here. I want to celebrate when there's a purpose for celebrating, when we've actually got an absolute hold in the pandemic and then we do something worth celebrating.
What would you celebrate? What would you like to do? What would you do? Like,
I would try and fit 3,000 people into a 500 venue so we could all just squeeze each other.
Okay,
let's bring in virtual group hug. Virtual group hug. Virtual group hug.
Is that creepy? Like what I said?
We're not going to catch the COVID doing this, are we?
I hope
we'll probably catch more than that for you.
There's Sean, if you want to private message the page with the baby pictures of LP, I'll get them up.
LP, I like your brother.
Raimundo, no, Auntie Betty was quite a notorious person who joined us last night. There's Laura Campbell saying hello.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Carol. Nice one.
What's that? Where did we meet Laura again, Debbie? Remember?
So we've been helping out. Hi, Laura. We've been helping out a club. Not helping out. We've been enjoying doing gigs with a club. Include Me Too. George Bowie helps, plays with them a lot and stuff. It's basically just a great night to go and get a drink and dance. Again, it's one of my. I feel like do you know something? Every gig is a favourite gig, but there's gigs where where you're a bit like, right, I've got work in the morning, I'm going to kind of have to go, and then you get gigs where you're going, F work, I'm staying out and dancing. So Include Me Too. All the nights that Include Me Too, you've had to include me in getting me out the door. So yeah, I've stayed to the very end of every single one of those events because they're just so beautifully done, fantastic group of people, staff and all the people that attend. Jim did a silly thing. Not a silly thing, because it was worth it and everybody loved it. It's a decent enough stage. It's
good though.
But then Jim invited everybody on stage. And they were just playing. There was no singing. It was just basically jamming out. I'm at the front of the stage trying to hold everybody back. The first person that was going to fall was me. So it was brilliant. It was worth it. I could see the staff having a heart attack, but it was worth it.
It was good. Everybody loved it. Everybody
did love it.
I think is that Laura talking about what she wants to do once we're out?
Well, they've got a club also, and Include Me Too, and it's called Dates and Mates, and I think that's maybe one of the nights we did. That was maybe one of the nights we did for Include Me Too.
Well, when the situation is legal, safe, and workable, let us know in the comments what is the first thing you want to do in a group. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. It's still before the 11 o'clock smart watch, so keep the smart for after that.
I wouldn't even have thought about it in dirty if you hadn't said keep it clean.
Oh well, 9 weeks on your own, can do that to a man.
Look, David, remember that night? I've been watching the SAS. Are You Tough Enough?
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Aye, and anyway, I was thinking of that story you were telling me on the phone. I don't really want to get into it just in case, but you were because they have to jump in the water, and
right, okay.
Reason. I was thinking that you were telling me a certain person ran out the lodge and jumped into Loch Lomond.
Oh yeah.
A story for another time, maybe.
That's not a bad story. I mean, I can share that. So a couple of my pals were getting married. Kevin, Laura Christie now, and they were getting married up at the lodge in Loch Lomond. So when I was checking out just for the accommodation, I went online and I seen that they had some of the lodges that go right out, and then they've got the balconies on the poles that just go right into the loch. So when I phoned it up, hi, I'm looking, going to be part of the Christie wedding party. I'm looking to see if you've got any rooms. Just checking if you're well. Yeah. It was just, and they had they were all like named, I think.
Aye.
There was like Campbells and Stewarts and Grahams or something like that. It was like different clans. So when I'd been on, whatever the one, let's call it the Campbells, I said, do you have any of the Campbells available that have the balconies right over the loch? Yes, we've got a couple of them free. I went, okay, can I check? Is it possible to dive straight from the balcony into the loch? And then the line just kind of went quiet. And then the lassie went, why would you want to do that? But I'd also noticed that one came with its own sauna. So then just like, I was like, okay, I've been a wee bit rumbled here. So I just said, well, I was thinking, if I go into the sauna for too long and I'm really hot, then I might just want to do like a kind of plunge pool. Instantly chill myself down. So I was just wondering if I could just come straight out and just jump off the balcony into the loch. Well, I've never been asked that before. I suppose technically it's possible, but it's not something we would advise. I'll take it anyway.
Brilliant.
And I didn't jump off the balcony, but there was a lot more carry on that happened that I can't remember. Brilliant. Sean has sent the baby pictures.
I really hope he hasn't.
It's so funny because obviously
my career before it started.
I can't actually see them. I think he's winding you up, LP. I can't see them anywhere.
Good at that, funnily enough.
They're not in the private chat.
It's been really beautiful, obviously, getting to know LP, because the thing is, we've still got so much more to learn. And the crazy thing is, we performed at one of the most beautiful venues we'd ever played in. What's it called again, Lindsay?
The Battery in the
Battery. You've been there.
Wow.
So it's ruins, isn't it? Is it a castle or the
Yes,
just as a
yeah,
battery?
well, it was, yeah, but it's obviously been like kind of
What a venue.
but
It's
yeah,
like the ruins inside. And yeah, of course, Lindsay had performed that day, and then we'd performed after, but we'd missed each other like ships in the night. But and I won't go into it because Lindsay won't disclose her work. Obviously, she has told us, but she's showed us some pictures because it's quite an important job she's got. So I do get she's got to obviously take all the privacy serious. But she showed us some pictures and stuff, and it was like breaking the ice to the point where we laughed uncontrollably at these pictures. It was such like a lovely icebreaker. So she's realised like, don't show us pictures if you're ever going to be easily offended because we're going to bawl our eyes out laughing. Oh, it was so good.
I think your brother's at the wind up. The pictures haven't came through. There's Raimondo who's on last night. He's looking for Auntie Betty again. Right, just explain who Auntie Betty. Debbie, when you were on last night, did you see Auntie Betty come on the chat?
I don't know. I wasn't reading the screen. No, I wasn't even reading the things.
Okay, so.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you said something of it though.
It turned out it was a woman, a pal of an actress pal of Lauren and Lynette's, and like she's a musician. She's in a band called The Lovelies. She's a phenomenal singer. Stephanie, her name is, and she's got her own entertainment company and stuff. So what she's been doing is she's created this stay-at-home character who's a bit like a smuttier version of Isa from Still Game. and so she's called Auntie Betty. Smuttier. Like she's a wee bit below the belt, a wee bit risky with some of the comments. So I just assumed that it was actually just one of their pals that just wanted to come in and join the chat. So she comes in and she's like, oh, she was hilarious. And then anyway, so she disappeared again.
I remember you picking up on it.
She came in, she kicked up a storm, she went down a storm, and then she left like a storm as well. There's Laura Campbell saying hi.
Hi,
Mary's go home and weed my garden.
I don't know what that means, Mary, but okay.
Sure.
Is it an innuendo?
There's Alana. She's wanting a big night at the Barras to support all the local artists who have been keeping us entertained during lockdown. I think that's an amazing idea, Alana. Hopefully we can just whilst we're on that. I had just like I should be wearing my Blue Peter badge for all the stuff I've been doing before this came on, but I'm going to pop a picture up which will instantly fill us with joy and a lot of emotion and maybe make some of us cry.
The Barras. Oh, I knew you were going to do it. We just got word 3 nights ago, our gig on the 6th of September, the Go Live gig's just been postponed, which is such a shame. We thought that might go ahead with it being September, and it was such an important fundraiser as well, obviously for kids, cancer charities, but
yeah, definitely. I was on the phone to Tom Joyce earlier, actually, just keeping up to date. For those who don't know, I'm in Colonel Mustard in the Dijon 5. I also work at the Barrowland Ballroom in the Barras Market. Bit of a dream job for me.
What a job!
I know. Very lucky, very, very blessed. So we know the situation. Sean's back again. He'll save them for a better day.
Is it the wind up?
Mary was saying Auntie Betty was brilliant. She was commenting what to do after. All right, okay. So after a lockdown, Mary's going to go home and weed her garden.
All right, okay.
I think Mary's up in Fife. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mary. So just to go back to the Barras, it's the greatest venue for live music in the world.
Yep.
I don't think you would get any argument from anybody on certainly amongst us about that. LP, have you been to any gigs in the Barrowland Ballroom?
I haven't. And it's one of these venues that I know it was probably right up there alongside playing the Cavern Club, to be honest, for me. So yeah, it's just it's one of those. But you know what? It's been postponed. It's not. This is going to come back eventually. We know it is. So I'm not going to kick myself too much. It was it was an incredible thought to be playing there. That was super exciting. I'll be honest.
Keep the dream alive, LP. Keep the dream alive. So tell us about how you met these lovely people.
Well, I've been following them for quite a long time, to be honest, on Facebook. It was actually a kind of ad one of my friends had told me about yous. He's probably watching this. He keeps commenting on it, I think. Gordon Maitland. So, Gordy, if you're watching, thank you for that.
Gordy. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. And when it came up, the awful news, obviously, my first thought was, from what I knew about the band, was that they probably wouldn't want to go on, which was because I did gather you were like a family, not just a band. But when the news did come out that you were looking to find another guitar player, my immediate thought was definitely this is the band for me. I want to go for it. I knew the distance would possibly be an issue, but I went for it. I did contact the band page initially, and I had a message back saying that I was just maybe a wee tad far away. They're a close unit. They are like a family. They want someone nice and close. And I kind of didn't take no for an answer, if you want.
Good girl.
Yeah, politely. Very politely I was very persistent. I think I messaged a few times and just said, look, if you can't find what you're looking for nice and close, then please just give me a shot, because I think I could be what you need. And when I got offered the chance to go along, just jam with the guys, play a few songs, and I did. We went to Berkeley Studios, Berkeley 2, is that right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Fantastic rehearsal studios. Some of probably the nicest studios I've ever played in, to be honest. Jammed a few songs and it just felt great. It felt really good. The guys were all so relaxed, so chilled out, so friendly, and it just seemed to click. It just worked. Yeah, it wasn't hard work, the whole thing just seemed to fit together.
It's good.
Harmonic resonance.
Yes.
It was. And I was aware of how awkward it must have been, because to me it was just basically auditioning for like a new band, but I kind of was aware how hard it must have been for everyone else in the room, to be seeing someone else standing there. It must have been nice to be finally jamming these songs out, but I kind of had to be considerate as well at the same time. I was in there kind of I don't know.
Well, change is a universal constant. Sometimes it's forced upon us in the most tragic of circumstances that we would have never have wished. And it's a tumultuous process to go through any kind of transitional change. It sort of like takes me back to before we came on. One of the my favourite ever comedian, stroke philosopher, stroke prophet, Mr. William Melvin Hicks. We are the facilitators of our own creative evolution. Yep. And the fact that you are here now, LP, joined with us, possibly joined with the rest of the Ronains, is because there was a drive within you to pursue your own creative evolution, which obviously you've got a sound in your head that's going to come out through your guitar that you thought would complement and have that harmonic resonance. And once you've got in a room and you've had that jam, clearly that's when the alchemy and the magic happens and comes together, which reminds me of a Frank Zappa quote as well, which is
yes.
Oh,
love it. Brilliant, man.
It's what we're living at. As I said at the start, like we need to be grateful. We need to be grateful and remember that we're the lucky ones at the moment who are going through this. It's just my heart. Like April was just a depressed month. I quite literally went through the 5 stages of the grieving process with all of this for what was happening outside and being consumed with the news. Just feeding myself too much news and just being overwhelmed at the scale of the almost entire halt and cessation of your life and what your life was and everybody else's lives for like at least. Well, nothing's going to be the same. Like we're going to move into, they're calling it a new normal. I'll tell you one thing that did help me and pulled me out of my hole. I found the black hole I was in. I found this graphic.
Yeah.
I love this. This is brilliant.
Aye, this helped me massively. So when you start off, like if you're in the fear zone, you're grabbing food, you're grabbing toilet paper, medications that you don't need. You're spreading emotions related to fear and anger. You're complaining frequently. You're forwarding all the messages that you receive that are like maybe like conspiracy theories, stuff like that. You're getting mad easily. Once you move out of that into the learning zone, you start to give up what you can't control. You stop compulsively consuming what hurts you, from food to news. You start to identify with your emotions. You become aware of the situation and think how to act. You evaluate the information before spreading something fake. Yeah. You recognise that we're all trying to do our best. And then moving on from that learning zone into the growth zone, where you're thinking of others and seeing how you can help them. Yep. You're making your talents available to those who need them. You're living in the present, but focusing on the future as well. You're empathetic with yourself and others. You're thanking and appreciating others. You're staying in a happy emotional state and spreading hope. You're looking for a way to adapt to the new changes, and you're practicing quietude, patience, relationships, and creativity.
Brilliant, man.
So that's. I'll pop it into our group chat. But
you're saying about I was telling you the phone stuff, as everybody in the world got a story, but I grew up with my mum and all that, but I grew up in a street where it was my mum stayed here, my nana was across the road, my uncle was there, we all lived in the same street. So, but every week I like to go to air and see my nana, who's 86. But I've been doing that for years. I see as much as I can, but I haven't seen. Well, I can't get into her house. I haven't got into her house in a few weeks. So I've been driving to air and just standing at the back wall. And she's been coming out, you know what I mean, waving and all that. It's been pretty. It's like living in war. You know what I mean? It's just history that someone will talk about to our children and grandchildren. Do you know what I mean? So
the great pandemic of 2020.
Yep, it's been pretty.
And 2021 and 2022. That's what it feels like. I'm saying this is just the first year.
Again, it's a what a caterpillar calls the end of its life, a butterfly calls the beginning of its, and we're going to go through a metamorphosis into something else. I listened to a very inspiring talk earlier on. I shared the event yesterday. One of my favourite authors, Naomi Klein, amazing sort of political scientist, activist author. She wrote a phenomenal book called The Shock Doctrine.
Yep.
So she was on a talk today, which was about pushing and getting government and NGOs to start talking about a new Green Deal for the world, because with the number of jobs that have been lost, like the DWP secretary was on every now and again. Like, I do listen to Six Music every now and then. Like, I dip into community radio stations as well. Sonny Govan and Cam Glen, Cumbernauld FM up my way. I'll try and give everything a wee listen every now and again. But sometimes I like to see what the BBC propaganda is putting out.
Yep.
Every half an hour and on the hour. So I tune into Six Music for that. And what they were talking about, I mean, unemployment claims over this COVID period are about 2.1 million now, and the people, 8 million people on furlough. But interestingly, like in that Naomi Klein talk earlier on, they were talking about, like, with most of the airlines grounded, global carbon emissions have dropped by 17% during this crisis. And if you look at Mother Nature, Gaia, Pachamama, planet Earth, however you want to identify with it, we have been knocking fuck out of it. Undeniably. Like, our species have taken it right to the brink. So much so, scientists have called this the Anthropocene, the sixth mass extinction event that has been anthropogenically caused by Homo sapiens, us. Now, there are obviously some people who, across the extremes of the impact from low to high that they have on their local surroundings and wider afield to that with all the individual choices that we make. But at some point, the planet's been here for 5.5 billion years. It'll be here long after we're gone as well. Like, she knows what she's doing, and if she needs to send something out as a message to say,
I believe that
what we were doing was not normal. The way our species was living before this was not normal. So they're calling this. We've entered the portal. Is the word that they're using, and sort of like journalist and political chatter. Like, we're going through a portal, and as we are all conscious co-creators of what will happen on the other side of this, because we all have our own individual roles to play, and the choices and the decisions and the actions that we take always go out in ripples like skimming a stone across the water. So it's a really good time to take stock, and when we look at that graphic again, which I'll share for you, I mean, the quicker we can all get in the growth zone, and I accept that's not easy, because it wasn't easy for me, and it's not entirely linear. Like, we're all going to have good and bad days, but it's definitely a time for us to all take stock of what's going on with our own lives and other people's.
It's with the planet, though. I mean, with the planet, I'm not going to get into this. You can talk about it all night. It's greed, though. It's greed. It's like I'd seen Tommy Sheridan sharing that there's 30 billionaires in the UK that's had the government bail them out. 30 billionaires has had the government bail them out.
Was that his last? Jim? Was that his last article for Sputnik?
It was 30 billion. The government to bail them out. Posh Spice was asking.
I'm going to find that and share that.
And that's a disgrace. See if you're a billionaire and you have to ask the government to give you £300 a week for your worker. Nah, that's a criminal offence, man.
Yeah, you've made all that money off of the workers.
Maybe, definitely.
It's time to... I'm like
crazy.
Slouching down my bed here. Bilal Atson.
The biggest criminal is that Sir Philip Green. That film Greed, what do you call him, plays Greed?
Oh, yeah.
Steve Coogan.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I thought that was a comedy. To says at the end it's based on Philip Green. I mean, that is
a true story.
That is unbelievable. Almost. That guy.
Well, he never get out with a tiger, but aye.
There you go. That's the article, isn't it, Jim?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's that.
Right. I'm going to give that a share in the comments.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shouldn't have been just and see, the thing is as well, it's I think there was 6 of them has never paid tax in the UK in their life, but they've got the UK taxpayer bailing them out.
Aye, I agree, mate.
That's the thing they're talking about.
It gets me too angry. It gets me too angry to discuss. You know that way.
Well, the thing is, though, on you go, Debbie. Sorry.
No, just mean I almost feel bad that I'm being furloughed when there's people probably way worse, much worse off than me. And then you're reading it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to get my figures wrong because I've got the worst memory. At the minute, is it not? What much was it? Was it 500 billion they paid out the banks? Remember when they helped the banks out?
Oh, it was about 800 billion or something like that.
Yep.
And like, so they bailed the banks out, but yet they're going, oh, this furlough scheme is costing us something like 8 billion. And it's like 8 billion pale into insignificance compared to like bailing out the banks.
On that note, there was another graphic that I shared that I know you guys will know a little bit about and have and show an interest like myself in, being fellow peaceniks. Trident.
Yep.
So the cost with the Ministry of Defence over the lifetime of the project to renew the Trident nuclear missile system is 205 billion.
Yep.
Now, at the moment, I shared a big post tagging Scottish CND. I've been a peace activist with them and political lobbyist for many, many years. One of the reasons why I've got my peace sign tattoo there. And I worked it out. So the cost to renew Trident, right, which that 205 billion mostly goes to the US arms manufacturer Lockheed Martin. Now, at the moment, we report every 5 years. The 1967, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty was signed in 1967 by the nuclear powers of the world at that time. And they agreed that every 5 years they would come back and they would tell the UN, this is how many nuclear bombs we've got, because we had the Cold War and then there was a nuclear arms race. So it got to a ridiculous stage where like the USA had over 40,000 and Russia had over 30,000. Very, very large figures. I know I've not got them exactly right. If anybody wants to Google them, I always say the 23 podcast show is sponsored by Dr. Timothy Leary. Think for yourself and question authority. Yep. That's even us. Like we're just trying to remember facts off the top of my head, so we're not going to be 100% accurate all the time, but the sentiment is there. So anyway, fast forward to today, we report to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and the renewal of that every 5 years. The last count, we said we had 250 nuclear warheads, right? Now, each of those nuclear warheads that are put into a Trident missile that then go into a Vanguard Class A submarine, we have 4 of them. 2 of them are at Rosyth. They're parked there. And the other 2 are permanently at sea in the northern and the southern hemispheres. Oh, wait, we have a special guest on.
That's not Debi.
What just happened?
That's not Debi. I was in the middle of my rant about the Trident missile renewal there, Selena. So I'll just finish that and then we'll talk about the special guest that you are and why you're here, what you're going to talk about. Woo! So for me, it's pretty simple. I worked it out. So the cost to continue furloughing people if we didn't renew Trident would give us another 17 months to furlough the 8 million, roughly, people who are furloughed in order to make sure that we're not sending people back under pandemic circumstances where the R rate isn't below 1 and that we're sending people basically out to catch this fatal, deadly condition for some. And then create a second wave, like the second and the third waves were the worst ones with the Spanish flu. Those who forget history are condemned to repeat it, and it's absolutely abhorrent that sitting just now as what's looking like a proposal to go through the Trident renewal, it's fucking shocking that there's 205 billion there that could be used way better than, I mean, what are we going to do? Are we going to nuclear bomb COVID?
Exactly, man. It's unbelievable. It's like Scotland's the only country that ever struck oil and get poorer. I mean, but see before the beautiful Selena comes on, see that Richard Branson and Philip Green and Victoria Beckham. See the audacity of them to even ask the government to bail them out. It's absolutely a criminal offence, man. I couldn't believe Branson wanted 500 million. He's got 4 billion.
I know.
And he's going, I'm going to go to the game if you don't give me it.
It's a brass neck, isn't it?
It's the worst out of them.
It's a brass neck. Right, say that again, LP.
The Weatherspoons, the border he went through, his employees. I was never a fan of them. They're all dumps, but I'll never drink in one of them again in my life. Just
quite right. Get them boycotted. I mean, even to say it's a boycott. Like employ something like 40,000 staff. Like ultimately, you don't want them to be unemployed, but. Where can you morally draw a line with that one? Because he wasn't even going to close his pubs. He's like, nah, it's fine. We'll just keep them open.
If you want to leave, go to Tesco's. They're looking, he said to his workers.
Aye.
The thing is, they make them working somewhere that they will be valued, I suppose. I mean, I know it is initially it's a bunch of people unemployed, but if they're willing to go and you know, that's a hard task trying to find, you know, a job.
It's a tough moral thought experiment. So I did say at the beginning that we would have a special surprise guest coming in to join us. And I kind of sprung this on Selena only a little bit an hour before we were due to go live, but I did it for a very good reason. So I'm wearing the Who the Fuck is the Ronains t-shirt. Do any of you have the back of it that you could show up to the screen by any chance without me taking my top off?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No one's illegal.
Right. And when I was saying earlier on, one of the things that first caught my eye and my musical ear about you guys was the fact that you were making a statement like that, which I totally agree with. Yep. I'm wearing my Palestine wristband in solidarity with the Palestinians over there. I used to be the Glasgow secretary of the Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign. I abhor racism in all its forms. I voted on record. I voted Remain to keep us in. I'm all for freedom of movement, even just particularly for musicians. I think a lot of people who voted Leave, for whatever reasons they did, whether some of them were clearly racist, some of them wouldn't have been, some of them misguided, some of them believed the lies. We're still waiting in the 350 million per week coming in to help the NHS now. But it was on the side of a bus. It must be true. Boris said it was on the side of a bus. Fucking bullshit. So anyway, Selena is a good friend of the Dijons that we've known for a long time, even from before the Dijons, from Samba Yabamba days as well. Wow. I used to sit across from Selena's husband Ross. Shout out to Ross, and our old workplace, which I think both of us only liked marginally for a while, but ended up probably coming to hating, which led to his leaving anyway. And moving on to pastures new. So Selena, I've saved we were sharing it on our Instagram and our Twitter to promote the amazing things that you do with your charity. I'm just about to pop up. So for those of you who don't know Selena Hales, Selena started this amazing charity.
I've seen this. This is great.
And so Selena coined the neologism refugee because we are all from somewhere. And I'm now going to pass over. Oh, she's disappeared. Oh, she's back. So I'm just going to pass over to Selena to tell us a wee bit about refugee. What's happening at the moment with refugee during lockdown and what we can do to help refugee during this time. And while Selena's talking, I'll give their Facebook page a wee share in the comments.
Thanks, pal. So refugees changed a lot since lockdown and during the pandemic. We're a tiny wee charity that started in 2015. And we used to provide, well, we still do that. We've just added a lot of other stuff. But we used to provide about 120 welcome packs to people arriving in Glasgow every month. Wow. The welcome packs, sorry, I've just tried to plug in and it looks like it's failed. So if I cut off, it's because this has all died. I might just try and fix it, but I'll keep talking. The welcome packs all have in them, that's me charged. The welcome packs have in them a gesture of kindness really from the Glasgow community. They're all donation built, but I wanted them to be something that everybody could contribute to. So they're a collection of useful items, Scottish items, and the most important bit, a letter from someone who's a bit more familiar with the city. Words from someone who knows Scotland a wee bit better and who wants to pass on a message of support. And they've become this massively powerful mechanism for connecting old and new communities. Since lockdown, the first thing that went through my head was that the people that are going to be most affected by lockdown are the people that we are already trying to forget about in society. They're the people that everybody is already turning a blind eye to. And the Home Office have not let us down, and they have tried to do exactly that. They have shifted the parameters hugely since lockdown happened. They've moved incredibly vulnerable people into incredibly unsafe situations. and the third sector and communities have had to pick up the pieces of that. So for the past 7 weeks now, we've been providing emergency packages to people through a text service. So we've got a text number that anyone can message to request food, toiletries, or entertainment. So we've gone from doing 120 welcome packs each month to around anywhere between 60 and 100 emergency support packages a day. It's totally, it's absolutely nuts. It's yay!
Just a wait for a wee costume change there. I hope he's got mind, Ronains.
It's very rare that I'm not branded as well. I've got about 15 wristbands on, but that's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we've shifted into sort of food. We took over North East Food Bank for a wee bit. Hi. I now no longer feel like I replaced you, Debbie. That was a very horrible feeling.
No, not at all. I don't know what happened. I cut out, and then I was like, "Oh, I've got brown hair," and I was like, "Oh, that's not me."
Debbie, when you cut out, Selena comes straight on. I was like, "What are they two on?"
the new singer. Hiya.
Oh my God! You do not want that to happen.
Well, just thought you said a very key word, Selena, at the start of your talking, and that's kindness. And I want to remind people because we shared it earlier on, and I've been sharing it. Basically, the Facebook events for over this week anyway have all been changed to Mental Health Awareness Week that we're currently in by the Mental Health Foundation. And the focus of Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and I've been saying, just like a dog's not just for Christmas, kindness isn't just for Mental Health Awareness Week. Kindness is for all year round. And I think what you've been doing with Refuge and what the people who have made Refuge what it is have been displaying kindness all year round in order. We are all for somewhere. People have been arriving in this country for whatever reason. Yep. And if you, well, I've been abroad. I've attempted to live in a foreign country in Costa Rica, and one of the reasons why I went to Costa Rica is in the Happy Planet Index, which is like kind of like Quango offshoot of the UN. Costa Rica was officially the happiest country in the world at that time. We spoke in the virtual backstage before we came on, some of the reasons why that is. One of them is it doesn't have an armed forces, so they don't waste any money like we would be. 205 billion to renew the Trident program. They don't waste any money. They're not a militaristic country, so they don't have any fear that their children are going to be getting sent away to get blown up. Similarly, they don't have any terrorist attacks because they're not going out and attacking Honduras or El Salvador or Panama or anything like that. So kindness does begin at home. Kindness begins firstly with ourselves. Like, we need to be kind and accepting of the people that we are. I would like to think that most of us are just trying to be better versions of ourselves each day. And then that kindness can then emanate out from the people that we are. And through the work that you're doing with Refuge, you've definitely been a Ouija hero in that respect, and pulling together, creating a community of people doing the kindest of things. So thank you, Selena.
Oh, thanks for having me.
The first time I seen that was in the art galleries. Am I right? There was a big plaque on the art galleries. That was the first time I ever seen that statement, and I remember taking a picture going, love that.
I still all think it's a massive fluke, and at some point someone's going to come up to me and be like, that was my fucking word, and I genuinely have the fear that someone at some point is going to point out that they said it to me. But no,
there's our Caldo. Hi, Caldo. Just a wee shout out to Caldo. Caldo was our episode 2 guest on the 23 podcast show. Caldo also has he's an amazing musician. I'll give his Facebook page a wee share. He's got a brilliant album called Maths Teacher on Spotify. I'll give that a share also. And Colin has an inspiring for me to bring my podcast show out of hibernation for the lockdown. It's called My Battery is Low and It's Getting Dark, and he's got some amazing episodes on Spotify, so I'll drop in. It's available on all the other podcast places, but I'll drop in his first episode called All Gaelic Man. I would encourage people to check that out. Check out his music, check out his podcast. He's an all-round good egg.
He's got great hair. He's got great hair.
He's got amazing hair. He's got amazing hair.
I'd like hair like that. You know what I mean?
I'd love hair like that. I would pay to have real hair like that.
It used to be girls that would say, oh, I'd love to have hair like that. Now it's like it is guys have hair envy nowadays.
Selena, see when you're talking about like refugees and it's great. I'm very proud of Scotland. See,
Yeah.
if I ever meet refugees or even people coming here to live for another country, it's great to welcome them. It's great for Scottish people to go out their way to welcome them. You can see the joy. You can see the joy in their face. Some people are like, they've been through that they've been through so much hardship getting here that actually you can see the joy that thank you, and it's just nobody is illegal. Do you know what I mean? I love it.
There's a lovely.
Exactly.
There's so much feeling.
Yep.
For the Scottish welcome from the refugee community as well. So many people have been to lots of different places. They've had to stop in various places. The majority, well, the Home Office make it as difficult as possible. So anybody that claims asylum in the UK, you have to do that in London.
Right, okay.
No matter where you arrive, you've got to figure out how you're going to get yourself to Croydon.
Right, okay.
Asylum, and then from London, you can get sent anywhere at all.
Wow, I never knew that.
But there's that sort of chatter and feeling of like, I've never heard of Scotland. I don't know where it is, but everybody says I want to go there.
That's great.
That makes my heart happy. We were doing a music video, and this is a true story. Do you remember, like, they were kind of travellers, but they were trying to set up home, and in fact, they were looking for work in Glasgow. And anyway, like, we were trying to close the set for obviously our music video, and in the end we said, listen, geez, what you all stay, but you'll be a part of it. If you don't want to be in camera, then say so. But they all joined in, had a great day, and every now and again, like, somebody will comment on a video and they're like, I was there that day, and I'm like, oh my god. So it's such a beautiful day. We just were like, we never caught names because we said, listen, join in as a Glaswegian would do.
That's the Glaswegian thing,
that makes my heart happy.
Fantastic.
Exactly. There's Jackie agreeing with us as well. Good words, Jim. Selena. Selena, by any chance, do you have any of your own a wee introduction video on the YouTube at all that we can maybe play just about?
There is. I'm sure there is. I can't remember what it's called. It might be called with Selena Hills. Is that one up there?
I'll have a look.
Look for that one. There's another one. There's another terrible one, and if you find it, I'll kill you, David. And I'm
find it. Find it, David.
There's one where it was a BBC one, and I don't know what happened, but the person interviewing me is really Glaswegian, and my accent, I've got this chameleon accent that just like tries to fit in. And I say something about the letters that kids write, and it's really lovely getting letters from children, and they always talk about the places they like to visit and where they want to go, and they build up your expectations, so you think, they're going to talk about the parks or something lovely. And in this video I then go, and then they go on to talk about KFC, and I don't know why but I then go,
Is it?
Usually
Selena,
Gary the Tank Commander.
I found one by Bagas Sareg, the amateur documentary Our Home Is Theirs, which features Glasgow's response to the global refugee Selena Hills on letters for the locals. Excerpt of Our Home Is Theirs documentary. Is that playable?
I think it's playable. I'm going to say that, and then there'll be something terrible in it, but I think it is.
Okay, right. Well, that's 3 minutes. So, just to have a quick recap here on everybody that we've got on. You're watching the 23 podcast show on 23 Universe on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Thanks very much for tuning in. This is episode 7. We're here with 3/4 of the Ronains now. We've lost Linzi somehow. She's not even in the virtual backstage eating her hummus and slamming tequilas. She's not even there. She's just gone. So we're here with we've got JR right over there. We've got LP out in Dunbar. Down here we've got Debi and we've got Selena from Refugee. So again, just like we did sharing another Homeless Affair video by the Ronains earlier, we're just going to share a wee video which will give a nice wee overview of what Refugee does.
Good.
If you want to walk with your device and get yourself a wee top up while you're drinking another tea. It lasts for 3 minutes, so I'll just mute each of us just now and we'll pop that on and we'll see you in 3 minutes.
Letters to Kalai is a development of Refugee's very first project called Letters from Locals, which has encouraged Glaswegians to write letters for newly arrived refugees in Glasgow.
And I love this. Welcome, refugs.
Welcome to Glasgow, but I
must warn you about the bad weather.
They include the letter in community prepared welcome pack, which is full of Glaswegian taste.
They are absolutely the most important bit in the pack. It's fabulous that we can give children toothbrushes. It's great that we can give people literature and books and warm gloves. But the real key is that message from another person to just say, hi, we're open, we're here, and we're happy that you are too. With no sort of ask. There's nothing else in it other than just a lovely, warm hello.
This initiative was quick to gain popularity. Only within months, Refugee has received more than 200 letters from people across Scotland. Thanks to Refugee, the old days letter writing habit has returned back to life in this age of online communications like Skype or WhatsApp.
So that on Twitter, when I started posting pictures of the letters and stuff, and said, you can do this, write yours today. I started hashtags like, we're off for somewhere, you can make a difference, be the change, like write your letter today. And people were just like, oh, this is something that I can do immediately. It's not a huge ask. It's these little simple things, but together they form something really, really special. We are not talking about people who have nothing to offer this city. We're talking about people who have such strength of character, such intelligence, such passion and power and belief in the world. And we've not had one bit of funding. We've built it on community reaction and community response and people saying, I can do that, but I could do something to make sure that the community in Glasgow was connected with people when they arrive here. And I could make sure that when people arrive here, they receive the welcome that they deserve and the welcome that this city is just ready to get. Whilst the capacity to do it might not have been there, the willingness certainly was.
I think we're back.
Yay!
Yes.
That was lovely.
Came back here just as I was eating a biscuit.
I love that in that video, I look about 10 years younger. The song's playing in the background, and I'm wearing a Colonel Mustard t-shirt.
I know, and I didn't even know that.
I noticed that, the pink one.
I've never seen that video before. I didn't know that. That's beautiful synchronicity. Beautiful synchronicity. There's Mary's giving you a round of applause. Great work.
So you formed 2015, Selena, is that what you formed?
Yeah, it started December 2015. My first Christmas that I'd taken proper time off work, and I was like, oh, Christmas is going to be amazing and it's going to be lovely for the kids. And in fact, I only had 2015. No, I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old then.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to take a really decent period of time off and just enjoy, because I love Christmas. And I launched Refugee on Twitter and Facebook on the 7th of December and spent the rest of December running around like a headless chicken, pretending that I knew what the hell I was doing and how this thing that I planned on running from my living room just became this, it just snowballed. And it's continued to snowball. You know, I think when, you know, we're talking then about the brass neck of the 1%, of the big billionaires, small individuals within communities don't have that brass neck. So I speak in that video about, we had no budget. I didn't apply for any funding. Everything was just, let's see what people are willing to give. And folk would offer to give me like donations of cash at the beginning. I'd be like, I don't have a bank account. I don't know how that all works. Go and buy me toothpaste. We need kids' hats. We need toothpaste. Get your class to write letters, or give me the things that we need. But the money didn't become a thing. For about 9 months, we were a cashless organisation. After about 3 months, I quit my full-time job.
Selena, sorry to interrupt you. I had 2 questions before you go on. Why? What's the history? Why did you decide to do this?
So I had a few friends that had volunteered in Cali and in sort of camps, but really I have no background in asylum support or in working with displaced communities. It was simply my previous job was that I worked at Glasgow Chamber of Commerce. So I got to see the strength in the economy of the city. I got to meet an awful lot of the sort of business leaders within the city. But I suppose in that I recognised that actually a lot of the business leaders in the city aren't like those hungry for cash, sort of 1% business leaders. They're people that give a shit about the space that we all share and that we all exist in. And it just happened at the right time that I sort of went, wait a minute, if I tap into that network and to the Sambia Bamba network at that point, if I tap into that, surely we can make sure that that slogan that my office used to look at, the People Make Glasgow slogan, we can make sure that if people are arriving here, that applies to them too. Because I'd started to doubt, do people only make Glasgow if you're from Glasgow? Yeah, is that actually quite people make Glasgow, but you need to be from round here?
Of course.
Well, just on that note, sorry to interrupt you mid-flow, because we have someone who could give an opinion on that, and that is LP. So just LP, based on what Selena said there, then what do you think about a Ouija welcome?
To be honest, it's amazing. I mean, I admit when I was much younger, like just old enough to be jumping on the train from Dunbar, popping into Edinburgh, Glasgow was quite a scary place for me. Like we're talking like a young teenager from out in the city. Basically, we country bumpkin, So the idea of going into Edinburgh was it was supposed to be, the safer place, the friendlier place, and Glasgow was quite intimidating, if you want to put it that way. But now, as someone older, I have to say Glasgow is one of the friendliest places, if not the friendliest place I've ever been in my life. People are there is no need to feel that way when you're in Glasgow. You know, it's fantastic. So I think what you're doing is great, and it's probably the best place to, you know, choose as a base for this. To be honest,
Yeah.
Good point. Yep.
So like exploiting all the good bits of Glasgow and the good people and all our strengths and.
Just anyone, and that's where it starts. Is just someone being open enough to just talk to a stranger. You know, people in Glasgow are not afraid to just start a conversation with you.
Jim, you've got a wee tagline that you stick across in like your social media handles and stuff. So it's like a simple hello can lead to a million things.
Yep.
And a simple. I love that too, Jim. And that's obviously how we sort of bounce off one another. And came together like with the rest of the band as well. But again, it comes back to, first and foremost, it's the focus for Mental Health Awareness Week, kindness. Kindness is it's a muscle. Like, you can work on your kindness. A lot of the time I like to think that it is something that we're inherently born with, but then I also then think of Etonians that end up as politicians, like Cameron and Johnson, and then they're obviously from a different class where they just believe they are. Like, they're told from birth that they are a ruling class, and that for whatever reasons that they are better than the working class. And it's the whole fucking idea of class, man. It just does my fucking nut right in. Well, it's 1 minute past 11 now, so anything fucking goes.
Okay. Serious.
I love that. Yeah, my battery's going to die. Hold on, I need to get a charger.
Serious, baby.
All right, I'll be okay.
There's a lady from Ohio in Cleveland, Ohio, in America, and she's about, I don't know, she's about 45. Monica, her name is, if she's watching. So she was coming.
Monica.
I met her through Echo and the Bunnymen. My friend played Echo and the Bunnymen for 17 years. So anyway, Monica got onto my band, and she was coming to the Kelvin Grove bandstand from Cleveland, Ohio, just to see Aztec Camera, Roddy Hart. And Monica's black. She's went through racism and with the cops in America and stuff. But she asked when she was coming over here, could she meet the Ronains, because she loved the Ronains. So none of the Ronains could make it. So I went along and met this stranger, and I met her in Oranmore, and then there she was sitting. She was only here for 1 weekend, never been in Scotland in her life, and me and her sat with dinner. We talked about life, music, man, photos together. I was kissing on the cheek and all that, and man, I swear to God, she was crying because she was just crying. No, with me. See, when she was sitting at the bar, and this old guy's going to her, all right, doll, where do you feel? And she just couldn't believe it. And it was a great time, and she absolutely fell in love with Scotland. 2 days, and she's never experienced kindness like it. They start to finish, for the airport.
I think that's it, exactly. That it's having what you said, David, about kindness being a muscle. There is there's something sometimes that feels quite risky about it. Yep. Like at the beginning of Refugee, so many people would say to me, but what if people expect more than one pack? What if people take the mick and come in and they take more than they're due? What if you get flooded? And it was always language like that from people who I wouldn't expect it from, but it was always, what if you get flooded by people from the Romanian community? Everything was built on this fear that's all been planted by the media, by all of this other stuff. And I love thinking about Refugee now being this example of exactly what you've just said with that meeting. Someone you don't know her from Adam, you've no idea. It's a massive risk.
Hey, Linzi's back.
I'm back.
Sorry, Linzi. Where you were sitting, because it's the first time I've think I've had 6 on at the ssame time, so it was just sitting beneath the line at the bottom of the screen, so I didn't know you were there. Sorry. I know. Sorry. Well, do you know, Selena? I think it was before you came on, but like what you've said there about those fear-based responses and people manifesting those fear-based emotions into maybe irrational reactions. I think that also aligns with that diagram that was shown as well about even pre-COVID, people stay in that fear zone of the what ifs, the catastrophizing, the what ifs. But even when it comes to refugees, like when they move into the learning zone about actually understanding, well, hold on a minute, but if they've came from the Yemen, that's British bombs that have been sold that have turned them into refugees. So why shouldn't we now be extending our kindness now to say, look, fucking, we didn't pull the trigger on those bombs, but we can help you and we want to help you. And then that's when you move into the growth zone of doing the amazing thing that you did, and then actually just going, do you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to create this. And well done.
That realization that it's not limitless as well. And I think we run the risk in society all the time of thinking that we can only have a chosen one. So if I'm helping refugees, I can't help the homeless. And if I'm helping people who maybe didn't originate from here, that I can't help people who are from here. And there's a really good meme about it and it's talking about equality, that it's not pie. It's not like you're not going to run out. You're not getting it's limitless. Like, and your kindness isn't a fucking pie either. You're not going to run out. You can be nice to one person and you can be nice to another person. You can be nice to other folk as well.
There's more to give,
Yeah, there's more. And that happened within our office the other day when we've just started working from the old FOP shop, which I feel really bad saying to music people because it's a proper icon.
An institution.
We now occupy that space. But we're now running the food parcels from that space. But because we're visible from the street and folk can just come in from a distance and it's sort of all sectioned off. But we get quite a lot of the homeless community coming in and saying, what is this? Are you a food bank? What are you doing? Like, how do we apply? And this wee guy came in and was like, oh, what do I have to do? Do I need a referral? What do you do? And I was like, you can text a number, mate, but you're here. You can take a pack away with you. And if you need another one in a week, just text us and we'll deliver it so that you don't have to come in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And the team were like, are we helping?
Gobsmacked.
Are we helping other people too? I'm like, look at all the people.
We're helping people.
Exactly.
Oh, we're not going to go, oh, sorry, you need to text the number, wait at home until we get in. So he came back later on with all of his mates, and we had maybe about 8 walk-ins that day.
Yep.
But more important than the people that were walking in, the team all went, oh shit, that's how we're doing this.
Yep.
That is how we're doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
We're not saying it doesn't
A light bulb moment.
I know.
Yeah. And that's
I think that's your pal Jennifer has just tuned in, or maybe she was on for the Ronains. She said, "Oh my god." Hi Jennifer, thanks for tuning in.
Jennifer's a cool person, man.
If you're sticking about for a bit, Selena, and you're more than welcome. We've got space for 6, and feel free to share the live 23 Universe post link just now, the one that's live on your FUEG page. Or if that's too much IT stuff in the middle of being here, don't worry. It'll be on YouTube after this anyway, and then tomorrow, just when I share the actual YouTube video, if anybody wants to rewatch it back. I took a note of when you joined the chat anyway, so I'll let people know, and then you can give it a share tomorrow or whatever anyway, because you've got some absolutely diamond information here that people should know. There's Mary saying that's brilliant. Gaz, absolute legend. Selena, she is. It also reminded me, Selena, there just what you were saying, and I was just going into hard drive into my quotes folder as well, because there's a when you're talking about memes, there's one that's called Schrodinger's immigrant.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is this is the right wing media perpetuate this oxymoron that the idiots who buy the fucking scum newspaper, the Daily Fail, and all those rags listen to absolute idiots like fucking Katie Hopkins and all those the scum media. Right? I mean, the people who actually believe that bullshit without the show is sponsored by Dr. Timothy Leary. Think for yourself and question authority. Just think for yourself. Schrodinger's immigrant. How can someone who's lazing around in benefits almost simultaneously be stealing your job? Make up your mind. Like, they're both bullshit. It's actually it's quantifiably proven by the Office of National Statistics and the Office of Bureau Responsibility that people who come here and settle in this country end up contributing more per head, per capita, and work harder and do better for society and go above and beyond just what the normal person would do to actually make themselves feel as if they're a functioning part of the society because they've got more to prove.
Yeah, it's like that doctor.
The doctor.
I was going to say that doctor who stole your job with your 2 blooming standard grades. Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry, I didn't know that you studied so hard for that job as a doctor. You only got 2 standard grades or whatever. But sorry.
Katie Hopkins. I think Katie Hopkins should make the next Ronains t-shirt.
I wouldn't give her breeding ground.
See the thing we need to do now, right? I was even partially like, I don't even like saying her name. I was even a wee bit reluctant to say her name. I just had to say her name to make the point. But the thing is now, right? Here's what I think should happen. Similar to what the witch Maggie, witches are cool. To Thatcher. With their campaign, like what they decided to do with like Sinn Féin and the IRA was that if they were ever given a statement, it was voiced over by a fucking English speaking, and she said that at that time she was going to starve them of the oxygen of publicity. What we need to do, fast forward to now, all these parasites in the media, like the aforementioned woman whose name we'll not say again. We just need to starve them of publicity now, and just let's forget about them and let's just focus again. Let's just focus on the theme of mental health, awareness week, kindness. Let's get them back. What can we do? What can the people do to help Refugee at the moment, Selena?
So donations of anything from non-perishable foods, toiletries. Entertainment as well. We've got so many families who are living on zero benefit and a tiny asylum budget. But with the schools now closed, they are stuck at home with children who had nothing before they were in school, stuck at home. They're just the sort of empty homes that we can't really get our head around. So board games, craft stuff, playing cards are really good as well. We're also getting a lot of requests from individuals, so from single people who are isolating and know nobody. I'm sure you can't have missed that last week one of the asylum seekers who'd been moved to a hotel in Glasgow committed suicide. This is a guy who has survived war. He has survived a journey here that, again, we can't begin to imagine. And the thing that pushed him over the edge was our government and our systems. And that is the biggest failing. And this is the sort of process and policy change that is being pushed through during lockdown, during COVID, when organisations like Refugee, like Positive Action in Housing, like Govern Community Project, who would normally be out there knocking on doors and demanding attention on this, we can't do that. So that sort of support for providing people with an escape, with music, with adult colouring books, with cards, with just a conversation, a friendly person going and dropping off a package at the door. That might be the only interaction that person has had in weeks, and that's critical. It's so important. So there's loads of information on our website.
Okay, there's guys saying I've got tons of deodorant and body wash if you want it. I'm just going to drop the Refugee Facebook link again.
Say, where do you drop it off to?
The comments.
So to the Byers Road shop. So we're at 358 Byers Road in the old Fox shop, and we're there weekdays 10 to 4. But if anybody is isolating, if anybody wants to do a collection in their close or within their community, drop us a message on any of social media or on the email, and we'll come and pick up donations as well. There is a one of the massive benefits of lockdown is that our volunteer network has just grown and grown and grown. We've got so many people out doing deliveries every single day, running donation drives and picking stuff up for us. So if you can't get it to us, we can come and get it.
We'll definitely help. We'll definitely help you.
Yeah,
We do a lot of work for charity.
Call it A-Team.
So we'll definitely.
Yeah.
Back in the they broke out of prison. I don't know the title.
There's your pal Jen. I think Jennifer was tagging a few of the troops there just to get them on.
Fair play to you.
Alana's already here. Alana's been here for the start. Me thinks. Jennifer's saying, brilliant stuff. I wasn't sure. She's here. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Just a wee recap at this moment in time. You're tuning in to the 23 podcast show on the 23 Universe, wherever you are, Facebook, YouTube, or the Twitch. Thanks very much for tuning in. This is episode 7. We're here with the Ronains. Do we have all 4 Ronains now? Yes, we do. Linzi's Well, Linzi was away backstage eating hummus and olives. And
I know she's come on and she's picking her teeth. Did anyone see my amazing delivery?
The cakes?
Costco cake delivery. I feel bad. We're talking about donating food, and I'm going, "Do you see my delivery?" Like, this shows how privileged we are. But of all things, to get a delivery of Costco cake was a treat. Starting tomorrow.
I've been saying that for about 10 days.
I've been saying that for 2 months.
I'm going to hear on
the annoying thing. What's E.T. doing down there with the big finger up to the? What are you doing, Lindsay? Why are you
no, it's when I'm scrolling to check my battery.
All right. I actually thought you had a manky webcam, and I was going to ask why.
It's so creepy, isn't it?
It's like E.T.'s big finger.
That's what David said.
E.T.'s big what?
What's the music would you like? What's your thing?
I'm rubbish at music. Like, I'm really, really shit at. I've got a favourite band? The worst memory. Not really. I listen to absolutely.
Colonel Mustard.
I mean, I should obviously say Colonel Mustard, right? Yeah. Like, I'll listen to anything. I'm pretty flexible. Ross always says if I grew up in Glasgow, so Ross is my husband, that if I grew up in Glasgow, I would have I could quite happily stand and party outside Officers Club. Like, I love really, really terrible, happy hardcore music.
Amazing.
But I also I like Jerry Cinnamon. I like Left. I like a bit of Childish Gambino. Yeah, I'm very
a good broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should have we're talking about music again. We're here with a band, so let's have another musical interlude. We've got a few more people that have joined us. I actually think the numbers jumped up there a bit, so I think when Jennifer tagged those people there.
Amazing.
I think a few of them jumped on.
Seen Debi Mackay commenting. The Costco cake's almost finished.
Oh, sorry, Debbie.
And
No, it's
that
not.
was me trying to just kind of, I mean, it's terrible the shopping I've been doing recently, but I've been trying to buy stuff from all local people. I never knew this girl, just a wee shout out. She's on Instagram, Stacey's Cakes. So she done like tray of caramel shortbread, a tray of like jam roly-poly, trays of tablet, and she delivers them contactless.
That's
And she's got Costco cake, and oh my word, I ordered 3 slices and they were humongous. But I chopped them up, I gave some to my neighbour and all that. So as I said, I was having a word with myself because I was just lazing about and I was getting annoyed and I was over analysing things and everything. So today is the first day I actually woke up and got up at 9 o'clock. And I wanted to go out, but I'd lost my bank card, which we realised Jim had stuck to his bloody cord thing or whatever. And I went to the bank, and then the bank said they couldn't help me today. I was trying to decrease my overdraft. I'm going off on a tangent again. But point being, I haven't seen my brother in 4 months, and I was getting really a wee bit down about it and stuff. So I went to the butcher's, bought him hundreds. And a little side note, my brother lost his job because he also lost the lady he privately cared for due to the COVID-19. So he lost somebody he cared for 13 years and lost his job. So I bought him millions, like Christmas Day dinner, and I went and got him potatoes and everything, and I went up to his house and I dropped it all off at his doorstep. Then I ran down onto the street and phoned him, and I was like, "Come to your door," and he wasn't in. So
sorry,
my brother's
supposed to laugh there.
No, it's fine. So it was lovely because his partner was there and I had a good chin wag. But the funny, my big brother goes every single morning without fail, goes for a 6-mile run, comes home, has a shower, then goes to work. But obviously he's not working now. So then he comes home, he gets a shower, gets breakfast, and then goes for a walk after his run. But anyway, he came back and he literally stood with his partner, and I got a wee chin wag, and it was quite nice. I had a wee tear in my eye. So it made my day to spoil him and see him. I haven't seen him for, I don't even know, over 4 months or something. Obviously, we've been locked down for over 2, and I hadn't seen him before that and all. So I drove out to see him.
Well, good on you. I've just lined up. 2 seconds, just line this up. There's Sean. Evening trips. Thanks for tuning in, Sean. Jennifer.
Jackie's comment. It goes without saying that I like these guys, Jackie.
Jennifer's never had Costco cake.
Jackie,
I didn't buy it. I don't have a Costco card. I got it delivered. I'm a lazy bugger.
That is sad. So I've got lined up on the YouTube. Well, we're going to have a wee musical interlude. People, everybody that's still with us for 4 minutes and 2 seconds. We're going to watch Fun Time Frankie by the Ronains.
I've got a good few stories to tell after that. Now it's after the watershed.
You watch out for the synchronised dancing during it, and then what we'll do is we'll try and recreate it when we come back. But this is Fun Time Frankie with the Scottish footballing legend that is Frank McAvenny, Celtic, West Ham, amongst other clubs as well. That man lived a life. Andy Gorham's the barman in the video as well. And it was filmed
Rangers
in
legend.
Kilts and Cocktails, is that right?
No.
Bar 29.
Oh, sorry, mea culpa, my mistake. Okay, so I'm just going to mute all 6 of us and pop the video on, and we'll be back in just over 4 minutes.
Yay.
Hello. best, Frankie.
You'll find me in the clubs and bars, designer clothes and flashy cars, the brasserie in or and more, sexy women, gangster galore, robotic dancers, all rich chances, slender thighs, but the beady eyes are all on me.
Frankie.
I take more than I give, but that's how I live. A ladies' man, I'm kind of a hit. My money ain't mine, I skip from the top. It's fun time, I ain't looking for love. Yeah, I've been here, yeah, I've been there, and it's been around me. I'm fun time.
Frankie walks good, he talks good, looks good, makes love good, tastes good, and smells good. Why can't he just choose me?
I'm fun time.
Frankie.
Right. Okay, I'm known for the cops. I don't shout it a lot. Stay this from trouble, but trouble is here. It's Glasgow made, knows no fear. Anyway, girls, I've got to go. It's disco time, Frankie show. The night is young and I'm full of candy.
Is that fun time, Frankie?
It's fun time.
Frankie walks good, he talks good, looks good, makes love good, tastes good, and smells good. Why can't he just choose me? Why can't he just choose me? Why can't he just choose me? Frankie.
If you're in town and Frankie's around,
Frankie.
call me up and I'll come round.
Frankie.
You're on top and I'm down low.
Frankie.
VIP to the Frankie Show. I'm fun time.
Frankie.
It's fun time.
Frankie. Why can't he just choose me?
I'm fun time.
Why can't he just choose
I
me?
walk good.
Frankie.
I talk good.
Frankie.
I smell good.
Frankie.
I dress good.
Why can't he just choose me?
So you had a good night, son?
Aye, it was fun.
And are we back? Are we back?
Good to see you, eyes.
Yes,
I can hear
Debi's
you.
backstage, I think.
Debi's backstage.
Debi was backstage. She's back.
I don't know how I manage that all the time.
Such a great
Backstage, baby.
Wait. I'd just like to say we saw there at the end, so let's raise our glasses to Shawnee.
Oh.
What a man.
It was good seeing him.
Wee babe.
It's always good seeing him.
It was, man. It was missed dearly, gone, will never be forgotten.
Definitely, David. Definitely. It's good seeing him in the white. He always dressed in the black, and it was unreal, man. Just only three weeks after we made that video, you know what I mean? It was a short time he left us, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable. Such a young guy too. One of these.
I know. And again, we know, Jim, you and I have had many a conversation about mental health. We've had our own battles with that ourselves.
Yep.
And that's why even now, with the focus on mental health awareness for kindness, you just be kind, because you never know what battles people are fighting in their own mind. And ultimately, all we can do is just be kind and loving to one another. Sometimes there is just too much going on, and you're not always going to be able to do what you can. But the very minimum, the baseline that we should be setting is just being kind and loving and peaceful to one another, and then we will have a better society.
Definitely, and I think it's. I used to when on mental health, when you hear people, it's that kind of cliche thing: speak out, reach out, talk. And I know it goes over folks' heads sometimes, but I mean, with Sean, it was a huge eye opener, because I mean, this band toured America. We toured America twice with Sean, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. Man, it's unbelievable that it couldn't just open up a wee bit more. But it just shows you people can't. That's the whole point of this. People can't open up.
Yeah.
And that's what blows my mind. It was our best friend, and it just couldn't open up. It could open up a wee bit, but no. I mean, that's what blows my mind. It blows my mind.
That's when you talk about any suicide is wrong. Not to blame the person who's done it. It's wrong. We all wish it wouldn't happen, whether they're female or male. The incidence rate, sadly, is higher on males than it is for females, and it is because there is a stigma where people are afraid to open up about their emotions. And that has been because generationally, like, we'll probably all know, like, most of our dads are probably of the generation where it was like you just repressed emotions. You know what I mean? Like, you never ever, no matter whose funeral it was, you'd never see your dad cry.
No.
And for me, the dam burst open for me when I went to see a band called Idols, the QMU in October 2018, and they've got a song. So Joe, the lead singer of the band, they've got a song called Samaritans. So he had his own battles with mental health. He's been through the mill with sort of booze and drugs and stuff. I think his wife had a stillborn baby at one point as well. And like, when you're out on the road, like, these just things. Like, I mean, being out on the road just takes a psychic toll on you as it is. And when you're in an industry where it's expected that you just get pissed and mad with it because it's backstage waiting on you, it's a recipe for disaster for some people. But the song that they've got for Samaritans, it's called Samaritans for a very good reason.
Sure.
It's first of all in the song title, but then lyrically throughout it, it's stand up, be a man. This mask, the mask of masculinity, you've got to let it go, and if you don't let it go, then ultimately that's what's going to be sadly like the downfall for so many people. But we just, again, through kindness and being open and letting people know that it's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, even now, look at what's going on just now. The mental health bomb that is just going off across the world at the moment. Is just it's beyond my comprehension at the moment. So this is now, even now, more than any other time. Not that it's never important to be just kind to one another, but
definitely, it's so important.
We need to
I
be.
think that's a good time to point out that for anybody that doesn't have someone in their life to be kind to them, then they can phone Samaritans on 116 123.
Great.
That person will be kind. And see what you were saying about our dads being stoic, or do you know that you don't see them cry?
Yep.
Even though I know my dad's not watching this, I'm still just going to say this because I want him to know how proud of him I am. He now volunteers for Samaritans, and the most difficult thing he's found about lockdown is that he's not able to go in and do his shift. Because, well, he turned 70 in lockdown. He refuses to admit that he is over 70 now. He says he's not over 70 until next year.
Yeah. I'd imagine lockdown, mine doesn't count either.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Nope.
But again, like Refugee, in lockdown, what Samaritans have found is a huge increase in their volunteer numbers. So now, more than ever, they are available. That phone line is there. And if you need it, they're some of the best people in the world, because I phone my dad all the time when the shit hits the fan. And if there is anybody that you want at the end of that phone, it's him. So use it.
That's great. Selena, that's amazing. That's really, really good.
That's amazing.
There are loads and loads of comments here. That'll just we'll go through because they're all like, as we're watching the video there. Jackie was giving it the old yes. It's definitely. Can't wait till next Ronains gig once this is all over. Jennifer, I'm friends with Jamie, Debi and Linzi. I haven't met LP yet, but I actually met Selena first. There you go.
All our worlds colliding.
Yes, same seeing LP for the first time. Frank,
I'm looking forward to meeting Jennifer, actually. I know she comments on a lot of the Ronains stuff.
Brilliant.
That's great, Mary.
Well done, Mary. Mary was actually introduced to the our music community, the Mark McGee's You Call That Radio podcast. Our band through John. So our John is a community mental health nurse with the NHS out over in Kirky. So she's been working with John. Great work that you've done, obviously, Mary, there 40 years, agencies, projects. Keep it up. Linzi and address, yes.
Yeah, Frank and Andy were over the moon.
I don't know if we'll see it again. There's Kevin Bridges, Scottish Talent Unofficial, absolutely brilliant, guys. Jennifer was a bit upset she didn't come to the filming. Wish you could have seen all the behind the scenes stuff. Well, Stuart Westwood has sent me a behind the scenes photo, which I can share in a wee bit, but we'll go through these comments first.
Oh, really?
Loving the video. If anyone hasn't watched this, by the way, definitely watch it after this so you see it in its glories. This is highly lagging, so not as great as this. Yeah, totally bang on 100%. I have to say, because of the StreamYard software, when I go to share screen through YouTube or Vimeo or whatever it is they might share, the audio is fine, but there is a time lag. So I've just shared the actual YouTube link for the video. So after this, you can jump off and go and watch. Just binge watch all the Ronains videos.
Yes.
Brilliant.
On you, Deb's go. She's back. That was from earlier on. Yo, the Ronains.
We gigs with Craig.
Mary raised her glass as well. We were all raising our glasses there. Jackie, always love. Lots of love coming in there for Shawnee from Craig as well. Jennifer, like we need to be open about these things. It's like we all have health, physical, and we all have health, mental. So there isn't an issue if you've got a sore head or if you cut your finger. Physically, these aren't issues. These are normalised. And it's just as a society and as a species, we're having to go through a process of normalising everything that you can have because of through your mental health, whether that's a good or bad. We've all got mental health. It's there. It's always with us. Saying where else are we at? It's really hard
after
to talk about suicide with people because people don't know how to react. They seem to get angry and want to avoid not talk about it. It's a huge thing we should be able to speak about. Well, again, I think when we open up the conversation of suicide, Jennifer, first of all, we we need to do it from a place of compassion. And the way people, there's a great Wayne Dyer quote, which is the way other people act is their karma. The way we react to that is our karma. So you never know the life story of someone just through a simple conversation. So, I mean, I don't know what your past experience has been, and I'm not being negative about what you've said. It's a very valid point. Sometimes, like, if you spoke to somebody about suicide and that maybe is their reaction to back off, their dad could have committed suicide, and it's just still a topic that they can't bring themselves because maybe they're potentially angry at what they're with dad or something, or along those lines. But sadly, my gran committed suicide, and there was a whole process of dealing with the emotions to do with that as well. So again, kindness and compassion and love are the answers. Debbie Mackay was telling kids, especially boys, to stop crying, to toughen up. Kids need to.
Yep.
His favourite. Bang on, Debbie. Bang on. People think when males suffer from mental health that they are weak. Not at all.
Not at all.
I'm actually going to share. I'll just pass over to. I've been talking for a wee bit there. Breathing Space, Papyrus stands after 8 p.m. in Scotland. Can afford to speak to CPN line. Great. I'll pass it over to you guys. Anything you want to say? I'm just going to quickly find. There's a so powerful video of Idols on the Jules Holland show when they did the song called Samaritans. It's like genuinely like the catharsis of Joe channeling his mental health through this song. I've never seen anything as visceral as this performance, and I implore you that once I share this YouTube video, and check them out as a band, because again, actually Idols for me are a modern day version of a combination of The Clash and Rage Against the Machine. They're very, very political in the songs that they sing about. Joe's wife is in the NHS, she's a nurse. Anyway, pass over to you guys. On your way.
I was going to say before Jim jumps in, but that last song, like, I think a lot of us kind of, as we say, we raise a glass and we can. I used to get upset, obviously, at that song, and now I've kind of flipped it because there's a lot of kindness that obviously flooded out of that song eventually. Like, Sean had an absolute ball that day. Everybody got on. We obviously invited so many people on to set with us because it was a big dance. We made all these beautiful new friends. Yeah, we do know what happened, and it would obviously it just put us all in a dark place. And then talking about kindness, Frank obviously was like, what he's going to do. We were like, I don't know, we're going to bin it, we're going to shelf it. We just thought we couldn't release it, and he was like, it's up to you guys, but it's amazing work. These have done something. Like, you've had fun on. You can see we've done fun. So Frank said, release it, because obviously Selena, just to bring up the date, we had organised like a wee premiere, roll all our songs out, then the big crescendo, and Frank was there with his family and Nandy and everything. But then obviously we didn't feel like that was possible anymore. So then when we did start actually coming out of the dark place a bit and saying, right, let's get all of Sean's family together and do a private showing then for Sean's family first, and then we can open it up to a public one. So we did that, and it actually went well. It was a lot of tears the first show, and it was really hard to watch. And then the second show was a public one. And then on the back of that, just talking about kindness, and people don't even realise when they're being so kind. Frank said, come to London, my 60th, you'll know, experience it like it. We've never experienced it like it since. And we're like, oh no, wait, we can't go. I mean, this was 3 months later, but we were like, no, we can't be seen to be going out and enjoying ourselves, and it would be distasteful. And everybody was like, are you mad? Like, you're going down, and you probably, I know, as we did, we talked non-stop about Sean and Frank, even at his birthday breakfast and all that, was sitting talking about the guys, talking about us kind of thing. And I'm laughing because that video, I've got a leather jacket on, and Frank ruined us that weekend because we missed our flight.
We try to keep up.
We drank everywhere. Took us to the West Ham game.
He's in decades of experience doing that. You're not going to. You can't that.
We raced through the airport, and I didn't even know this till the next morning. That's how drunk I was. And then Frank was a bit like, tell, like, so I had a suitcase and a bag, but bag with just toiletries and all that. And anyway, Frank was like, right, we know what to do. You've missed your flight. Just get straight back to London, because obviously we were on the outskirts. Back to London. I've got this a big massive party tonight. And we were like, right, I ran in a toilet, put a dress on. They're looking at me going, we're all knackered. We're like, Debbie, how could you possibly go back into London? I went, oh, we can go. And then it did start wilting on me, and I was like, you know what? I just need a hotel room. I need food in a hotel room. And then the next morning, I got up to get ready, and I'm going, where's my bag? Where's my makeup? Where's my toiletries? Where's my jacket? I'd left everything in the airport on the security bench. So I started. The next day, we had to go to another airport. I don't know if you don't even notice you lost your jacket in your bag.
And leave it.
Oh, I had £500 to get new flights the next day, right? And obviously, by this point, we had to go from Gatwick to the other one, whatever that is. What do you call it? What did we do? Heathrow. And then who's sitting in the bar in Heathrow the next day? Frank, and we're like, oh,
David, the pints again.
No, and he's on a ginger beer, I think, but no, I couldn't believe it. I was like, of all flight times and of all to change, I mean, at least there's 3 airports, but the kindness he showed us brought a bit of life kind of back to us, and then he helped us and all with him and Andy McLaren and all that, all helped us with the charity match. And I think it was all these things, and we couldn't believe with a charity match, and the footballers who turned out to support us and play out of this world. And then it was only because of that, and again, we brought all of Sean's family there, and his family all played in the match, that it led us then onto the next little chapter, because we were obviously auditioning people, but our hearts were too heavy, and people weren't really doing it for us, but half of that was our thing. And then after the match, our spirits had been lifted just that little bit, that we got the encouragement for Sean's family to keep going. And then LP just walked in the door, and it was as if like we were on a date and you're trying to play it cool, like, don't show your hand, don't tell her you pure love her. And we're sitting like pure eager bunnies. She's like,
Keep it cool.
Please want to get in touch. As soon as Lindsay left the restaurant, we're like, oh my God, a pure lover. So,
you know what?
That's bringing all.
Let's bring in Group Hug. Group Hug.
I just want to say,
Group Hug.
you played that very well, because I remember going back. I'd actually booked a hotel room that night, just so I could stay. It was less stress, like driving home absolutely pure, like fucking up to the hilt, like. I booked a hotel room and I went back and I took a few beers and a takeout up to my room, and I sat and I remember phoning home and being like, I have no idea. No, but how did it go? I'm like, I honestly don't know. Like, I think they liked me, but I really they were so like chill and cool. Like, I honestly don't know how it went. So you played it very, very cool, is all I could, because I was sitting in that hotel room like, oh, please tell me that went well. Like,
LP, I've got some music questions for you, because I've not heard you play yet, and I always love finding out from people like their music loves and their influences and stuff like that. So as a guitarist, is there anybody out there that you'd say that like your sound is maybe modelled on or sounds like, or who are your guitar heroes?
See, this is a hard one for me, and it's not even so much that I don't have guitar heroes. It's when I really got into music, when I went to music college, I was kind of set on the idea of being a session musician. Like, that was my thing I really wanted to do. So I kind of tried to listen to as many good musicians as I could, rather than kind of stick to one. So it seems like a total cop-out, but the closest I probably ever got was, I remember getting kind of hooked, like obsessed on Eric Clapton for a while, like just the way he played, and also Jimmy Page. But I mean, they're kind of they feel like total cop-out answers, and any guitar player would.
Aye, I mean, it's like they're two of the greatest, aren't they? Greatest. Got a few more comments just to quickly go through. Lou23, big fan of the show. Hello, Lou. Thanks for tuning back in. She's just switched back on. What's this tea? Well, the tea, Lou, is we've got the Ronains here, and down in the bottom corner there, Selena waving. Selena was I'd put a special secret guest for the Ronains. So we brought Selena in to chat about, because on the back of the Ronains t-shirt, It says no one is illegal, Jim. Stick it up. No one is illegal. That was one of the reasons why I ended up finding the Ronains because of that. And Selena set up an amazing charity called Refugee, which helps newly arrived people coming into Glasgow and giving them a warm welcome, embracing kindness, because as we have been reminding ourselves, this is Mental Health Awareness Week with a focus on kindness. And kindness is not just for this week, kindness is for every day of the year. So that's just Selena's. If you scroll back a wee bit in the comments, you'll see the refugee link that we'd put in there. Just Google it. And we've got some more comments. Paul's came in on the Facebook. Are you famous? I don't know who you mean. Which one of us? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
We're all famous.
We're not famous. We're infamous.
Infamous, that's a better one.
Infamous in their own circles. Well, Paul, if you have just tuned in, thank you. My name is David Blair. I'm the host of the 23 podcast show on 23 Universe. I play in a band called Colonel Mustard and the Dijon 5. We're joined tonight by our guests, the Ronains. We've got 4 of the Ronains and Linzi's dog. We've got Jim, LP, Linzi, and Debi. And then we've got Selena Hales from Refugee. So if you scroll back in the comments, there's a few of the Ronains videos in there as well.
See when you're
he's maybe away, he needs a toilet now.
See when you're talking about we were talking about the music. We were trying to, obviously after Sean, we were just going to kind of pack it in. Anyway, we're fans when they let us, so we were trying out guitars. We tried out a few. There was this one guy, I'm sure you've all got you have your own music stories, David. There was this one guy, and he might even be watching. He's a lovely guy, I know that, right? But anyway, he came in and before he even played, he pulled out this book of lyrics and says, "Look, I've wrote this for your next album. If you like it."
Right.
We only just got his name, and I was like that. I mean, if he's watching, I was like, I just kind of couldn't believe it. And anyway, we tried it a few times, but see when Linzi came in, right? Because even though it's no kind of sexist thing, it's when Linzi came in and she pulled out like the Les Paul, I was like that. I was like that. Here we go, man. I was buzzing, right? She pulled out a Les Paul, and I was like, right, Nadie pulled out a Les Paul with the kind of stuff. She's not going to start playing about with this, surely, like that.
You can actually play it.
If you pull out a Les Paul, you have to play it. That's the rule of thumb, man. And then, see when Linzi played that guitar, the tears was streaming down my face. I was actually like that. Oh my god! It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy, man.
Always get nervous when Jim says, "Right, this is not sexist," and you're like, "Oh my god, what's this going to be?" It's all right.
I know.
It's all right.
There's no really.
You said as well, kind of shout out if you like to, you had a lot of really talented guitar. I mean, I'm the first one to put my hands up and say, I'm not by any means kind of the most technical. I'm not a shredder. That's not really kind of what I do. And
Thank
you guys
God
did
for that.
some really phenomenal guitar players, So, I kind of head up to them too.
Yeah, I mean, we met some lovely ones that we'd absolutely picked based on personality, and then there was some, and it was a shame because it was like one person is like not played in so many, like 7 years. I can't remember how many years, and if he's watching, like had a great audition, but it was like he just bought this £30 guitar off Gumtree. He couldn't have plugged it in because he said he didn't have an amp. So when it came, it didn't even work. And we were like, "Oh my god, we've just paid £30 for the studio," and you just have to be a little bit more prepared than that. But
Jennifer's loving a bit of Clapton as well. Lou was saying that's so beautiful. Getting a wee compliment there. Thanks, Jennifer. I haven't heard me before, but she's loving me sharing this chat.
You're getting
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Well, I am sharing the chat because it is my podcast show, so that's why I'm doing it. But brilliant. No,
Tell.
Give Jim a break. Give Jim a break. There's Wilma saying she certainly can play.
Certainly
LP.
can.
Oh, she
That's
can.
There's Vincent joining us. Do you know Vincent?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we're supposed to be touring in October in America, and where we were hitting up, we were going to Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans, Kentucky, Alabama, Birmingham, or I know half of these places are in the places or something. So the band that's going to be supporting us on the road was Ascension Drive. Obviously, really looking forward to it, but it's now postponed to next Easter. So just hopefully we can get the tour up and running next Easter. And tragically as well, like one of the venues that we were booked to play in, correct me if I'm right or wrong here, it get absolutely wiped out by a hurricane. Like, fully, and was it Nashville?
It was in Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
It was called the Basement East in Nashville. We're playing, and a tornado wiped out. So it did. Thank God we weren't in it.
Aye, we're coming up for hurricane season again as well. And like when you
we were laughing at that one, she was pretty hard. Pretty hard that one in.
So hi, Vincent. And Vincent hasn't not so long became a daddy. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So we played
Vincent.
after them in the Philadelphia. The bar was called The Fire, so we played after them in Philly last year with Sean and everyone. Good time.
I done an interview recently there, David, and I mentioned Colonel Mustard in the Day John 5. Aye, so when it comes out, because I couldn't really believe. I can't really believe that Colonel Mustard in the Day John 5 Disney Play Transit. I can't believe that.
Well, I can tell you my own personal opinion on that. When you look at the lineup, Jim, we are not. But we are not a Transmit band. Transmit now is just a Radio 1 mostly. And they'll have some other bigger acts as well who maybe aren't so traditionally Radio 1 now. But when you look at it, it's mostly a Radio 1 lineup, and we're not like. We've got good relationships with Six Music DJs, with Amy LeMay, who does the Sunday after. She came up, DJ'd her after party. Sean Keaveney, absolute legend. He wears our t-shirts all the time. His whole family are kitted out in our merch now. And in actual fact, I can share an exclusive with you. Sean Keaveney does a feature called Small Claims Court. Do any of you listen to your show?
No.
Do you know Small Claims Court, Selena? You're nodding. Right. I am going to be on Small Claims Court on Friday the 6th of June.
Well done, man.
It's an absolute life goal. So me and Sean are going to be talking about a celebrity small claim that I've got. I can't share any more than that. But we have no interest in ever being played on Radio 1. That's just not what we're all about. Like we know, like, we're an amazing festival band. We connect with people. People come. They have an amazing time. Particularly when we all get together in the greatest venue for live music in the world.
Oh, definitely. He's an amazing live band. Like it's like a big party.
And thank you.
No, but see with the pictures you're putting up. See like the pictures. I got asked what band I would like to see at Transmit, and I'd mentioned Colonel Mustard only because. I mean, there's two buskers playing at Transmit this year, which I thought was unbelievable. But I'm not going to get into that. But see with the fans that you can pull in. I thought you would deserve Transmit in Scotland and Glasgow Green.
Well, it's interesting because I've been to every Transmit at least one day, right? And see when I go to Transmit, I actually see. With the exception of when Jerry Simmons played, but I usually end on the day he's playing. But I end up seeing more Dijon 5 t-shirts than any other act actually playing on the day when I go. But anyway, it's their choice. Jennifer jumping back in. I was only joking, by the way, Jennifer. I was fairly certain you did know that this is my podcast. But But there you go. I've been invited in now to be the new chair for any future Ronains.
That's it. You were the referee.
Vincent saying, yes, we are now besties now, Lindsay.
Vincent's a great guitar player.
Yay!
Yes.
He's my bestie.
Lou's giving a yes, big ups. Alana.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Transmit absolutely
Well,
scuppered me. I was off in the sick when I was actually going to sell my ticket. I broke my leg and all that before we were ready to go and gig down in Liverpool. And anyway, so Transmit came around and I thought, do you know what? It's fine. Actually, see having crutches going to Lindsay will tell you, but see having crutches going to any gig, it's absolutely brilliant. Like I'd actually just start carrying
We skipped the
crutches
queue, didn't
about
we?
now. Oh, we went to see a show in the O2, wasn't it? And we thought they were coming along the queue to take our drink off us, and I'm like, trying to hide the drink, and we're miles in this queue. The guy was coming up saying, come on, I'll take you up to the disability area. And I was like, no, you're all right. He's like, no, because once the queue starts moving and all that, it's safer if you go up. Because, I mean, this was just after I broke my leg, so my full leg was, like, straight and everything. And, oh, my God, we got the best seats in the house. I felt so wrong. So I went to Transmit.
It
was amazing.
It was brilliant.
I know. I felt so bad. I felt like a benefit cheat, but I didn't ask. I kept saying no, but he did say safety-wise when we start getting in. But anyway, Transmit, I ended up getting upgraded to the circle, right? And I was like, oh, my God. So me and all my friends are in the circle. We've got a blanket down, which was great because one of my friends was pregnant, and then obviously there's me with this big leg. And as the night went on, I absolutely love the Killers. I was supposed to go and see them this month, 29th, down in Manchester. So there's me, Pal's husband, throws me up on his shoulders. I've got the Ronains, who the fuck's the Ronains t-shirt on, and I'm obviously giving it Yal Day. And next thing I come on the big screen, and I was like,
You're on the
screen.
national.
So it was on BBC, it's on whoever covered it, and I'm like waving. And then obviously when I'm going home that night, a bit tipsy, I'm getting all these messages going,
Did they miss you?
you know you were on that, Debbie? And I'm like, aye. And they're like, but Debbie, you're off work sick. Next day, and message for the boss. Oh, so you're all right to go to Transmit? And I was like, I don't know if someone grasped me in or if she'd seen it herself, but grasped in a belter.
Honestly, a belter. Actually, right in the telly. You were up the big screen and you were on the telly like this.
I wasn't even giving 2 fucks, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm off the sick. And I had the big pure t-shirt on. You couldn't have missed me. You could not have missed me.
I'm
had my pals up.
I'm getting into a wee back and forward with Jennifer here already. Right, yes, I was only joking. I'm quite a sarcastic person anyway, but I wouldn't be saying that in any form of dig to you anyway. But definitely not being
Jennifer
serious.
knows I'm sarcastic as well.
It's all good. We're all pals here. We're all pals.
Definitely.
So just in terms of what you've had coming up, we spoke about that Barras gig. Then is that what else was in? Vincent saying there he needs his t-shirt.
We'll get one today.
So for the 23 Universe and the Ronains fans that are tuning in, just give people an update then on what you had in your calendar, like over the next maybe 6 months that's not now happening, and what's happening with it.
We had Rock and Rollers, we had Stramash, we had Gig in the Goyle.
The Cavern would have been...
That was this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah.
This coming weekend?
It was
that one there, was it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's a huge festival, the International Pop Festival. So obviously it only plays in Liverpool, and then it goes on to like Stockholm and Canada, and it goes obviously around the world. So
Were we not invited to Stockholm?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Were we not invited to the Stockholm one?
It was good with the flights, and they were extortionate.
We're going to go to Sweden and play the weekend after it. It was the first time we played the Cavern Club after we became pals with the drummer of the Beach Boys, which is mad. The guy that owned it, Los Angeles, and the King, some surviving members of the Kinks. He's quite famous, the guy. But we became pals with the Beach Boys, and I ended up the drummer
Beach Boy,
and they ended up saying that if he's ever back, he'll play a couple of songs with us, which would be great.
Right.
So what other gigs, Jim?
We had obviously the Barrowland Ballroom come up, but we had the American tour.
Foodies, Harbour,
Foodies,
Heat and Diesel.
I think that was August.
With Foodies Festival, several Foodies festivals
anyway.
throughout the country, but obviously they're all patched to next year as well. And then our Tarbert, we're supporting Pete and Diesel. And then our last gigs that we're booked were obviously then America at the end. But
was it Troon or something as well? Tamfest?
Tamfest end October as well. Yeah. Hopefully that might still go ahead.
No, it's cancelled. I get the email today.
Oh, is it?
Fuck off. No my last bit of hope.
He's going to do a virtual gig.
Right.
It's
a Halloween show. So.
I know, Halloween. I think that.
I'll just dress up like a spooky bitch.
Gotta dress up.
Okay, if you've just noticed, Selena's away there. I got a private chat. She had a screaming child in the background bowing out. Thanks for having me, everyone. Lovely chat and mega appreciative of you all.
Thank you for surprising us. That was great.
Yes, thank you.
No bother, Selena and needs must. I'll just reply to this. On you go. You just chat amongst yourselves.
We're just.
I think I was cancelled with year dues.
Yeah, I can't get other gigs. To be fair,
I was holding on to Tamfest, but if that's cancelled today, then that's.
Tell you this year's a write-off.
I think so.
I know. I think because even if this year was starting to get back to normal, you're talking.
Yep.
To be serious, because I mean, I know you take kind of pride in a good live show.
I know.
You can't just on rehearsal and then jump into live shows. It's all about being really tight for the people that are going to pay to come and see us. So,
and I think even at that, people coming to shows, it's still social distancing still going to be there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to get in weeks of rehearsals before we're wanting to, put out a show that we're happy with, kind of, with people paying for, is what I mean. So,
absolutely.
So even once the rehearsal studio is open, you're talking a few weeks of that before we can kind of go anywhere with it. So
I can't believe people had the cheek to try and protest that big gathering the weekend there. Like,
Glasgow Green.
Seriously?
But I thought only like 5 people turned up in Glasgow. I thought it was. Did you see the live stream from London? Holy!
I think there's definitely there's been a conflation of a few things around it, and obviously with anything like that you then get those with specific agendas that will try and steer the narrative into why it was on and why people were doing it. I know people that went to it and like it wasn't for right-wing reasons or anything. I know people who just happened to be out. That's where they go for their exercise during the day. So then they were also out. I've got journalist pals. So they were curious. I've got journalist pals who were there who are allowed to be for journalistic purposes in order to report back and stuff like that. So the whole kind of certainly the numbers were way below what the usual bullshit press were fear mongering again about. But I mean, even for some of the people that are there, like some of the people that I know that I went, like they're not denying that the virus is real or anything. They're not going down
more just about their rights.
Aye, they're not going down the rabbit hole of claiming that it's like anything linked to fucking like 5G or anything along those lines or anything. They're just like, they're actually like business people who are seeing the untold, the unprecedented, to use the word that's unprecedentedly getting used so often, they've seen the unprecedented damage to the economy, and they're just thinking that surely there must now be ways that we can start to think about. But I think for them as well, who I'm thinking of, part of their thinking, and again, you've always got to, like, you can only assume someone else is thinking because you don't know everything, and giving people the benefit of the doubt. But I think the worst part of it for me, and again, I'll just bring back this, is we have so little faith in those sociopathic, psycho, murdering bastards that a lot of us are probably within the most cynical part of us, based on all the evaluative evidence of knowing what Tories are like, that they actually don't have a plan. And
No.
the plan itself is just going to be, right, economy first, fuck the people. If
We've
more
got
people
a
are going
fucking
to die,
ape running the country.
exactly.
See, when you read, I like reading Tommy Sheridan's posts and for Sputnik and stuff. See, like,
Ooh, Tommy.
no, but see,
Jim loves Tommy.
like Dyson, see how Dyson get the contract to do the ventilators. I mean, Dyson's a huge Tory donor. He gives them millions and millions. So there was small businesses wanting to do this as well for free, but it ended up, I think Dyson was getting something like 30 million quid or something, or 40 million for the
I'm checking my battery, sorry.
I know. It's crazy.
I've shared that article. It's in the comments, Jim. Yeah, I've been reading. Tommy's kindly dropped dropped some of his articles into my messenger, and I have been reading them. I've shared some of them in relevant posts that I've been putting out and stuff like that. And he's spot on, Tommy. Like you know the stuff. He knows his stuff. And he just cut straight to the heart of whatever the sort of the political heart is. And I don't care like what people's opinion may be even of that. If you just read it as a piece of journalism and analyze the facts, then analyze the facts. And as I said before, the 23 podcast show is sponsored by Dr. Timothy Leary. Think for yourself and question authority.
Brilliant.
Really, that's what we all need to do when it comes to critical thinking. We had a few more comments come in there. Jennifer's laughing at your big EG finger again.
It's because it's next to my camera. Like, it's so weird.
See, my only feedback, I'd say turn off the subtitles. Jennifer, I actually don't control the subtitles. They automatically go out. There isn't an option that I've got here. This is called the software I'm using to broadcast this simultaneously from our Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitch. It's called StreamYard, and unless I've not found it yet, there isn't anything in the settings where I can actually. I've been through most of them, so I can't see where I can turn them off. But I mean, they're mental. Like we were on an earlier show, and someone kept on taking a screenshot of what the subtitles were against what we were saying, and it was absolute madness. These language bots don't understand the Scottish dialect.
Ken, what I mean?
I used to work. I've got a picture. I'll send this to you later, David. I used to work in sports presenting in Leeds, so in England. So every day in the office was obviously English mostly. So like they were all out in the computers. There's like a big screen dividing this, and basically I'm doing Greyhound commentary, so I totally need concentration. And all I could see out my side eye was everybody laughing at me, and I'm like, oh my god! I mean, every day I work down there. It's live TV. My stomach does absolute somersaults. I worked there for 2 years. So anyway, long story short, I find out what the laughter was all about. They put subtitles on me, not on the TV, but just as a joke. And oh my! So I was saying, Trap 6 in the betting is going out, right? Is going out. Trap 6 is going out in the betting, and it comes up as sex at sexies is betting something, and I'm like, somebody's just laughing every time. And I have to say Trap 6 about 1 million times. I'm like, Trap 6 is out the gates. Trap 6 is out leading the way up to the first bend. And I'm saying sex, the way the subtitle took it. So I got ridiculed then. And there's also a website, it's called, I can't remember even telling you, it's all the rubbish anyway. But anyway, I got absolutely slaughtered on it because, one of my cousins who's English was like, Debbie, it's Plymouth, no Plymouth, and it's Southwell, no Southwell. And I was like, oh my. Obviously, all the fucking racetracks had to be words I couldn't pronounce. I'd
like to see them come up here and pronounce Uxter Muxty and Echo
Echo Feckin. Exactly. I know. People were writing like, is somebody phoned in sick? Is somebody's mocking in for them? Who's the bingo caller? I was like, fuck off. I'm trying to... And it was, as I'm reading this, like while I've got a 2-second break for the next thing coming up, going fucking heavy on the pelters.
Do you think Stuart Westwood is still on? Because I'm about to show now the picture
Oh
that
no,
he sent
baby,
me.
that's
Oh no.
oh, that's all right.
Oh, that's all right.
I was like having a heart attack there.
That's an empty bottle of Buckfast.
Are you happy with that?
Yes.
That's all right. Yeah.
That's
LP,
fine.
did
That's
you
all
say,
right.
remember when somebody says you didn't have any legs?
Aye, but I do look like I've got any legs. If you just look at it quickly, I look like I've got any legs.
He's like, she's got any legs.
I think that's the only thing my legs have
Oh my
not.
god.
To be perfectly honest.
You're like, do you remember Wordy, who used to be on that kids' TV programme? Wordy, the wee floating typewriter body.
Oh, I do vaguely. Aye. Actually,
Oh, I need to find a picture of that now.
But only
yeah.
the it's been bloody missed it in the photograph.
I thought there was going to be some awful pictures coming there. I actually had palpitations, but
I am so glad he
the
did make
rest
it.
easy.
Absolutely.
That was a good day. So it was.
It was. So we went for
That was a
dinner
really
after
good day.
it.
Good times.
Oh God, that restaurant.
So we went for dinner.
Banquet.
It was
And
like
then
doing
Lindsay
this
texted.
days later, Lindsay. Holy shit.
I think it shut down the next night or something.
It shut the next
Lindsay
night.
texted us saying, "Oh, that's got shut down due to the COVID."
Can you see that?
I remember it now. Oh, is that weird? I can't remember if that's what I thought it was.
Looks like a Hoover.
There's just a floating Henry the Hoover. We've got a question came in there from Mary for Jim.
Oh, don't ask that.
Oh no.
Jamie put his own name up there.
Run about Clydebank partner. I get nicknamed the horse, and I've never been on a horse, so
Because he's got big teeth and bad breath.
Mary, I'll let you guess.
It's his big hooves.
I'll let you.
It's his big nostrils.
I'll let you guess. I'll private mail you, Mary.
Why the long face? See, I knew I had to put a smut warning on at the start of this.
Yeah.
We would only be allowed to smut after 11. I know what you're like.
Brilliant.
This is one of my favourite things.
I'm
Just
sure
come
that was
back
a guy.
to
I'm sure that was Pedro that made that comment because I couldn't stop laughing.
was
Just that's all I see every time I see that photo.
See when you're talking
Just
about
when
things like I was in America. I was in Florida a couple of years ago, and I was standing on the beach, and I just had a pair of blue shorts on, and I got a picture taken on me, and I shoved it online. Somebody went, "Holy shit, floating shorts!"
Jim,
with the beach, and you could just see my hair in these shorts. It was hilarious, man. Floating
just
shorts.
on the anniversary of when we should have been playing at the Cavern Club, when we were there 2 years ago, basically Jim started this shouting out as a joke, right? Because people don't know that Jim's from Patna, but people really don't know where Patna is, right? So down in Liverpool, Jim shouts out, "Any Celtic supporters out there?" Right? Because Liverpool there is quite a lot. Anyway, all these folks start singing back the Billy Boys. It's like, for fuck's sake, right? And then he's shouting out, "Empty for Patna in here," and all these women all start going, "Aye, I'm for Patna." And he's like, "What? Are you actually for Patna?" So we're all backstage, and it's like young girls, older women, whatever. Big load of
You
them.
know where we're going with this?
Can I
I
say
know
this?
this is when I wasn't there.
So we're backstage, and Jamie, anyway, plants obviously a big smacker on this lovely woman, right? She's a bit older than Jamie, let's say that, right? So
She was about
that's
60,
fair enough, right? Right, just stop there, right? So anyway, you don't say a lady's age. So anyway, the next day, we're obviously, everybody, I mean, the girl who was there, it was her mum, and she was just like having a good laugh about it. Oh, you found Patna?
My hometown.
There's
Do you know what's even more hilarious? This is another little link to another story, right? If you Google Frank McAvenny in Patna, It was him. There was an emu or something where it was loose in
It was
Patna.
an ostrich. It was an ostrich.
An ostrich was loose in Patna. But weirdly, Frank McAvenny done some story about it, and it's him standing next to the Patna sign in Patna, dressed up as an ostrich or something, isn't he? You have to try. If you Google Frank McAvenny,
Where's all the birds?
aye. Where's the bird? It's an
Classic.
ostrich in Patna. Oh, honestly, I thought Jim was winding us up when he told us the story about that. And I'm like, no way. And I Googled it, and then there was a picture of him. But so anyway, we were in Liverpool. Jamie obviously snogged this lady, blah, blah, it's fine. The next day we stop at the service station. Now this service station was like halfway, like near like Scotland, right? And lo and behold, who's at the service station? We're all sitting there, hungover. Lindsay had the hangover for hell. She'd ate about 20, maybe 10 bags of crisps, right, the night before. And she couldn't stop being sick in the car. All I could smell was crisps, but not even a good smell. But at the service station, Jamie goes and bumps.
Is this older woman?
She was
Anyway,
she's been munching away in crisps and hummus all show.
So then Jamie goes up the road and he put the picture up of him and the lady, right? But the girl had to message Jamie, the daughter, and say, going to take that down, my dad's raging, right? Sorry if she's watching, because we're trying not to talk about it, right? But not only that, when Jamie put the picture up, Jamie's mum was like, I know her. Jamie's mum knew the woman. So honestly, it was just too many coincidences, but it was hilarious.
One's class at school now.
I'll give a shout out again.
How weird is that?
Whilst we're getting stuck into Lindsay here in our crisp eating, let's just remind everybody that Lindsay is still doing a bit of grafting. She's got our music school.
Video lessons, remember, due to COVID.
Video lessons
Video
as well,
homeschooling.
and I will give the Facebook share for Miller School of Music a share again there in the comments. So check it out, Gaz Pendles, if you're still on. I don't know, maybe I'll see you in the Barras Market tomorrow. We're going to do a wee bit of volunteering again for one of our tenants who are making PPE safety visors for our health and care workers. They've been doing an amazing job. This is Makers, they're called. So they've got a laser printer, laser cutter, and they got the sort of prototype blueprint to make these PPE visors that sadly we've got a national shortage of. So we started off, I was getting them into like Chris Grant from our band, his mum Mary, she's an NHS nurse, where we're getting some into her ward, and other people that I know, NHS midwife community team out in Paisley, and lots of care homes, my pal's care home, Gordon Bush wife Bushy's care home. That was one of the first deliveries we done. So it's great to see. I mean, like the again, like kindness of our local community. That people are volunteering to help out because it's needed at this moment in time. Like in the wash house in the Barras Market, which is up Gibson Street. When you look at the Barras to the left, I'll just bring up the picture just now and just show you.
Maya done our video shoot there.
I got a photo.
Aye, so you did. Aye, so to the left there, that's Gibson Street, up where the load-in, where the lorries usually do. So just across from the load-in door, we've got another traders building called the Wash House. So this is Makers, whose Facebook page I've just shared in the comments. They were a new start, a new co that's set up pre-pandemic, and they were just starting to upscale what they were doing, and they had their business model all set about what they were going to do and all the rest of it. And then after this kicked off, they decided to repurpose what they were doing to help out the NHS and also the care homes have been drastically left out on a limb with this. But sadly, most of the care homes are all private companies, so the owners of these private care homes, but they are more. A lot of them have been more just thinking about bottom line profit and stuff like that.
What's the company? What do you call it? NC? It's not HNC. they own the Bupa and all that. Oh my word! I was reading their
They pay their
statistics and stuff.
staff pennies.
No, it's not just that. They're taking in people with COVID-19, in knowing that they've got it,
Yep.
Is this
but
the
they're
thing
being
it was on
paid
the
by the
news the other
government.
day? It was
I
on
don't
the
even
news.
know.
I think
My brother used to work for them.
That's when they've been testing positive and been sent home from hospital with the
I heard
DNR
about this.
do not resuscitate notices, and then they're sent back to the care homes that have got no PPE, with nurses that just have to go around like the same sort of people, and they're basically sent into these care homes to just pass it around all the other older people. And as far as I'm concerned, there is a corporate manslaughter and malfeasance charge again, which we can be using to justify. And there's a message here I've been sharing. Like, so people have been putting pictures of the rainbows in their windows and stuff. So where I live in Main Street in Christon, I've got I'm on a first floor flat. There's a lot of double-decker buses go past, so it's at an eye-line level where my windows are at. It's a busy main street anyway, like even just now, like with people just getting out, doing their exercise and walking and all the rest of it. So a lot of people pass it, and I decided that whilst I have these two front-facing windows out onto Main Street in Christon, that the double message that I was going to display to the public to let them know what I think about the situation. One is that.
Yep, definitely.
And the second is that's my rainbow.
Definitely.
That's perfect. I love them. Somebody was making actually the sticker decals. Like, so obviously it's not like the paper on the window, it's actually like just the sticker rainbow. I was like, I want one of them.
Jennifer said it's HC1 that company you're thinking.
That's what it is. Yeah, so my brother used to work for them, and my mum, so my mum, there's a nursing home just down for here that my mum used to be in before she passed. So I'm going to do a wee bit of work for them, but it's outside and I'm not going in. But my friends work there, my friend's mum works there, and she's been filling me in. They're away into the 20s now, in their home, and they're not even like a massive home, and it's because they're sending in, knowing full well it's people that have tested positive, and they might as well just go and give them a lethal injection. Do you know what I mean?
It just shows you. It was it just shows you how much the Tories actually cut funding to the NHS. Look how they left them. They left them with rags. With rags, and then honestly,
don't get me angry.
Well, the facts came out, as we all know. Like, so in October 2016. At the peak of their ideologically enforced austerity drive, slashing public sector funding left, right and centre, they ran that simulation called Exercise Cygnus, which involved the NHS, which involved all the major organisations, and it was to deal with a respiratory like flu pandemic, which they were basing on an R rate that was just round about Spanish flu, but less than what the R rate at the time was looking at for COVID-19. And the findings of the report were, quote, so terrifying, said the civil servant, that they actually buried it, because the three main things that it exposed: one, the NHS did not have enough PPE. Two, they did not have enough ICU beds. And three, if at the R rate they were expecting, and if it was to spread based on the simulation results, which was the exact same sort of professors in science lab that they were then using, who have now been modelling all the predictions and forecasts right now. So it's the exact same department, but back then in October 2016. Based on those findings, the NHS would have been completely overwhelmed. And obviously the two out of the three of them came true. And the Sunday Times, which I was really surprised being another Murdoch News Corps rag, but they went to town. They absolutely went to town. Both Johnson and Trump went missing, and their administrations just went missing for the whole month of February, when they should have been right on this, because we already knew exactly what was happening everywhere else. We already knew. Plus, at that time, one of the worst statistics, one of the worst facts in that Sunday Times character assassination on Johnson and the Tory scum. One of the worst facts was that once we started to realise that it had went from China to Hong Kong to South Korea to North Korea to Thailand, then to France, even during knowing all of that and the absolute inevitability with all the flights coming in from those areas that we would get it. Do you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what the Tories then did with the surplus PPE equipment? They sold it to China.
That's right.
They
Thousands
fucking
on
sold-
it.
Aye.
Thousands on it.
Then when
All that
shit
money.
really started hitting the fan, then they were pressing buy on their fucking Amazon shopping basket. And then they were then getting bounce backs from the Chinese companies that were saying, oh, by the way, we can't fulfill your orders now in the time frame that you want, because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a bit of a pandemic going on.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Same as Richard
It's
Branson.
actually, do you know something? Though? It's actually not unbelievable, because at the
I know.
bottom, at the end of the day, it was about money. So it's not even one bit unbelievable. It's absolutely Boris believable. Like that is
Yeah.
says it all about him.
To
Fucking
the
arsehole.
NHS, and during the pandemic, he got £2 million for them. I mean, Richard, he just turned out to be a unbelievable. I never thought he was like that guy. I didn't.
I know. I was hoping he'd be a bit decent, but
Yeah,
no one
like,
knows money involved.
Aye, it's you don't usually get that rich without being a bit of a cunt.
That's it. That's it.
I think is the standard rule, really, isn't it?
Business, innit?
What in that Sunday Times piece as well, right? One of the other things I'll share with you that I can remember that stuck in my mind the most, right, was when again the percentage of prime ministers that have came from Eton and the Bullingdon Club, this ruling elite class, is disproportionate to like even what Oxford and Cambridge and anywhere else, right? Like it really, Eton and the Bullingdon Club is a total breeding ground for absolute scumbag prime ministers, right? And there was a senior civil servant who was quoted anonymously, but he gave quite a significant quote to the Sunday Times piece. And what he said is that they all knew. So, see, even when Johnson was Foreign Secretary, he never even visited Ireland. He was just that lazy. Never even visited the closest fucking next country as an actual part of the British Isles. As Foreign Secretary, I can't remember how long he was in, but he never even visited Ireland, right? Then, as it was inevitable that he was going to become Prime Minister, this senior civil servant said, the thing you've got to realise about Johnson is your classic chief executive of a local government authority in the 1980s. And what I mean by that is he will be there as little as possible. He will pass the buck as much as he possibly can. He'll expect an early finish on a Friday to get down the golf course and get fucking pished. And then you'll not see him. You will be told, do not phone my house phone. Bear in mind this is the 80s metaphor. Do not phone my house phone at the weekend ever. No matter what it is, ever. And I'll see you Monday morning at 9 o'clock when I'll start in. Secretary, have my tea ready for me. And then he said, so throughout all of this, every single worst fear they had about Boris the Pefeffel Alexander Johnson came true. And it came true, sadly, and manifested itself as now over 50,000 combined avoidable deaths. That fucking man, unbelievable, man, unbelievable.
Absolute criminal. I believe he's just a puppet. Honestly, I believe there's guys that controlling him. You know what I mean? The lords and all that.
Absolutely horrendous.
Well,
disgusting.
on that note, I know this wasn't queued up, but I suspected the conversation would end up like we would be chatting about this, and that's totally cool. Anyway, listen, the 23 for everybody that I've had on, the 23 universe is an open forum. I want us to chat about anything without going down the lines of being things like racist and abusive to people. That's not what we're here for. However, Jim, exactly what you've just said there about politicians and puppets. The late great philosopher, musician Frank Zappa once said this.
Yep, definitely, man. So true.
I must have never.
It's so true.
and that's it. Like we look at the 205 billion, most of which is going to Lockheed Martin, a private American firm who are just going to get shareholder dividends based on the fact that we are taking vital money out of our economy.
Definitely.
To buy more weapons of mass destruction that we don't even need because the ones we've got already work.
I know, man.
And the thing is, see, now you don't even need all these weapons of mass destruction. Just go and make it in a lab, let it off somewhere, silent.
That's what's happening.
Do you think we're going to? Do you think we're going to nuke COVID? Are we fuck? He also had this other great quote, which I've just put in. The illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue the illusion, to the point where the illusion becomes too expensive to maintain. They will just take down the scenery, they will pull back the curtains, they will move the tables and chairs out of the way, and you will see the brick wall at the back of the theatre. It's all a charade. We're in the late the collapsing late stages of capitalism.
Definitely, David. Definitely, man. Linzi, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. So,
everybody's tuning in at half one in the morning. Scott was one of the bands. Scott's from Pelican Rogue. Hi, Scott. We were supposed to be gigging with Scott and Paisley at Rock and Rollers, and that was going to be our first kind of home turf kind of gig. The reason being, our first gig was supposed to be Stramash because we thought we'll go to Stramash because probably none of our fans would probably travel there, and it means Linzi can have. I mean, you know yourself. You're the one that got us in the door. The atmosphere in Stramash is second to none. The sound, the stage, everything. So I thought, if we want something perfect for Linzi to make it all go as smoothly as possible, so Stramash was the first one, and then our first home turf gig was going to be Rock and Rollers, and Pelican Rogue supported us and all at the Hard Rock Cafe, the album launch and all that, and we go down and we support them down in Ayr because they're an Ayrshire band, so we've had a lovely relationship with that band, and it was funny, we were so drunk on a night out before we were going on our second tour in America, and we went to try and catch the boys play on Suckhill Street, the Box, and we'd been in for hours, and we're like, they're not even there, and we drank so many bloody cocktails. Then the worst thing was we had tickets for Sugar, one of the reaction management bands. Oh my god, why Dancing with Dakota, was it?
Nocturne Wolf.
Tickets for another Nocturne Wolf. We had tickets for another gig at King Tut's, so we had to leave before they even got on the stage, but we were there to support them, and then it just ran on and we never got to. But so is life.
LP, have you been in Stramash? Have you played Stramash before?
I haven't played it. I've been in Stramash, so that was an exciting one for me. It kind of took some as a venue, yeah. Oh yeah, the sound
shout out to the two Johns that do the sound there. John Gillis and John Richardson, I think. Who did you see when you were there, LP?
I'll be honest with you, it was one of those stumble in at the latest. I'm trying to put it very politely, but it was one of those kind of end of the night venues, if you know what I mean. But I just remember it being a really good night, and I'm almost certain that it wasn't just because of the amount of booze that I had consumed.
It's a brilliant venue. Shout out to Stephen Cossins, Big Nick Smith, Stuart Gentleman, Becky Dodds, all the Stramash team that I know there. They're a lovely team. The whole setup in there is phenomenal. I've been putting on gigs in there now, must be about 3 years, I think, maybe at least. We've always had. I think the last time I'd booked you guys to come through, was it the Musicians Against Homelessness gig, or was it another one after that?
No, it was. Is it Simon? We done a Greenpeace one.
It was about this time last year. No, was it April last year?
I think it was.
You were on one lineup with
100 Fables.
100 Fables.
There was an English band as well.
Oh, they were
I
brilliant.
set the sea on fire.
Yeah, they're great.
Amazing.
Are they still around? I've never heard them again.
They are. They've had some of the band have started up another band and had a wee bit of a rebrand.
I thought they were brilliant.
I was actually trying to get them on this. So that would have been. Was it 2018? Do you think you played?
I think the first time we did was.
No, it was last year. It was definitely last year.
We played.
We played last year as well.
Twice or how many times?
We've done a Greenpeace one, and then we done one. It was like a street team that go out. I feel like it was like, is it Simon or Mind or I'm trying to remember.
I'm sure.
Maybe it was part of musicians. Streetwork doesn't do that. I'm sure it was part maybe of Musicians Against Homeless, and that was maybe I don't know now.
Yeah. Remember Sean had just got his custom guitar?
That many?
His string broke and he had to plug the new guitar in. And it was the first time he heard it and he turned around and he was just like...
Sean would turn up.
It sounded amazing. It really
Sean would rehearse.
Aye.
Sean would rehearse all week with a certain guitar. And then he'd turn up to the gig
with a
completely different guitar. And it sounds completely different. We're going, Sean, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I just fancy this one.
I never ever got that, man. Never ever get that.
He's nuts. No,
never ever. Guys, I'm going to have to jump off this, David.
Okay, well, actually, I was just about to say, I mean, we've thanks very much. We've been on for 3 hours and 40 minutes. I'll like see with each of these, it just reaches an end point on its own accord. Really, it's like I don't put any time limit on it. Obviously, some of us have commitments and other things to do and stuff like that. But I mean, my first one actually would be my first one with Chris Herring and Will Johnson from the New Hellfire Club and the Harlem Globetrotters last Saturday. But we started at 9 and we were still on it at 2, and then I just went, look at the time. Look at the time, guys. And we just round up. So we'll just quickly do Scott's saying you're forgiven. Mary was saying they're all just coming in from the pub now.
Oh, we wish.
Jennifer's a wee bit
tonight. I
actually
felt like I was getting dressed up to go out. Like my outs have been jumping in the car and doing birthday drive-bys so far. But tonight I was like, let's get the crimpers out. Let's find something to wear. So I was all excited.
Okay, well, I'll just have a wee roundup. Thank you everybody for tuning in to episode 7 of the 23 podcast show here on 23 Universe on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you've came in from. Thank you. We've been with the Ronains tonight. We brought in Selena Hale, special guest from Refugee. We'll give the once this is finished, it's then on YouTube. We'll give that a share tomorrow if anybody's wanting to jump back on, rewatch any parts of it or give it a share. Just to give a shout out for my guest coming on for the rest of the week. So tomorrow I've got Neil McKenzie, who's an amazing musician in a few bands, wedding bands, other bands. He's also involved with Glasgow Roots Review Festival, Dayfest in St Luke's and the Wing Docks. Him and his partner Rachel Ann, they're an amazing company called Keep It Creative, and they've actually been helping all our musicians and creative community with doing a lot of these home podcastings and getting set up for playing live at home and stuff. So they've been absolutely heroes for the creative community to still engage with their audiences online. Rachel Ann also has a sort of content creating company called Fanny Business as well. So I'll be with you tomorrow night.
Lindsay's got a business.
They create comedy content and theatre content and stuff like that. I'm surprised they got the name past the Facebook polis. But Thursday night I've got David McKeague, who's Samadhi Soundscapes. He makes and plays amazing hand pans. He also made my amazing shield behind me, Timothy, the smiley face shield. He plays at the Vishnu Lounge at Eden Festival. He's also got his own band called Scooby Snacks, which is obviously off at the moment. Friday night, very much looking forward to Friday night's Live-In with the one and only Gavin Mitchell, also known as Bobby the Barman. Bobby the Barman from Still Game. Probably my favourite ever Scottish artist and the biggest David Bowie fan, and just beautiful human, lovely man. So I'm looking forward to chatting with Gav on Friday night. And then Saturday night, I've got Marcus Reno Hislop from the Notorious Gasoline Company, one of the greatest artists I know. He's also the man who designed our 23 logo. He's going to be on, and then we'll announce who we're going to have next week. So whoever's been here from start to end, thank you very much for coming through. You're still working.
Yes,
There's a
Jennifer,
few more
yes.
questions coming through there. You look great, Debbie. Lindsay's favourite conversation. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, LP. Lovely to meet you, LP, for the first time. Hopefully see you soon in the flesh. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody. So from the 23 Podcast Show, I just want to say good night, peace, love, and the Ronains.
Yay!
Thank you, David.
Night. Oh, group hug. Group hug.
Night.
Group hug.
Ah. A big eyeballs.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye.
Night.